Great American Landowner. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 271 Li Shuang and Li Gua. Besides, people are animals that follow the crowd, and they all have the idea that the law does not punish the masses. If someone thinks that everyone is shoulder to shoulder, then things will be very serious. So the culprit was sent away first, and then the fans were isolated. The uncles first cut them into pieces. Then Li Hiouri and Jay Chou were sent away. The two quickly hid in the airport police office. The police outside cooperated with the security guards, and Li Hiouri went out and said a few words with the loudspeaker to show that she was fine. Then this group of people slowly dispersed, and finally a small group of people were left wandering there and refused to leave. Among these people, there are fat and thin, tall and short, and almost one thing in common is that they all wear glasses, and no matter how you look at them, they seem to have a kind of atmosphere called otaku. There are also some reporters who are holding cameras in their hands. After the crazy shooting just now, they seem to be much quieter now, and some of them even communicate with some fans. However, these reporters who communicate with fans seem to be all women. As for male reporters, brother, how can I have no time to bother you? We are all men. Although we all have penises, we can't pee in the same pot. Li Shuang was almost done with the time in the morning, so he set out to pick someone up at the airport, but he just left the house. Recently, the son of a mother's friend, who is also his friend, followed him. After the driver set off in the car, "Guazi, what are you doing?" Li Shuang asked Li Guazi while driving the car. Li Guazi is a young man, about the same age as Zhou Jixi, with a handsome face. I have to say that his figure is also very good, and his hairstyle is a low-key flat style. He heard Li Shuang's question. He smiled and said, "I recently heard my mother, my sister, and my girlfriend talking to their sisters about your brother. My ears are covered with calluses. I have to come to see him now. It's boring. If you go for a group of women, I will pick you up and see you later. Isn't it okay?" Li Shuang said. Li Gua shrugged and said, "It doesn't matter, but I have time now, so, you know." When the two drove to the airport, they saw that there were many fans of a certain star waiting at the airport, so they didn't go to join in the fun. The two stood at the entrance of the passage outside and waited, but seeing that the people in front had almost left and Zhou Jixi hadn't come out yet, they couldn't help but feel a little anxious. Seeing that it was time to get off the plane, Li Shuang decided to make a phone call to ask what this guy was doing so slow. Li Gua saw his actions, so he smiled lightly. "Brother Shuang, there's no need to call. I guess your brother might go to pick up the stewardess." Li Shuang paused when he heard it. "Well, it's possible. This guy likes to tease the stewardess every time he takes a plane. I remember that he seems to have had several stewardess girlfriends. He met them all when he was on the plane." Then he turned his head and asked Li Gua, "How do you know?" Li Gua touched his nose with his finger and said, He smiled and gave Li Shuang a look that said, "You know. You kid, really, I can't tell. Haha. It's all in the past. It was at that time that I read a book called Living with a Flight Attendant, so I wanted to find one and try it out. Men say that women are always a little excited, but to be honest Shuang brother, this airline is different. After I have selected them once, the qualifications are not bad, but most of them have similar breasts. I haven't seen the kind of asterisk. Li Gua said this as if it was a pity. But suddenly, Li Shuang said to Li Gua, "Guazi, look, there seems to be something interesting over there." "Ah, where is it? Where is it?" Li Shuang just wanted to tell him that it was there, but Li Gua saw it himself. After all, there are only these things around them now. It seems that they are making a fuss because of something. This seems to be a fan of the Korean female star Li Hiouri. Why are they suddenly making a fuss here? Li Shuang said. "Brother Shuang, is that the sexy Li Hiouri? Do you know her?" "Yes, I have seen her. I drank with her a few times during social events." "Brother Shuang, have you ever done that with a woman on Korean TV?" "Which one?" "That one. You know, a man." What are you thinking, you bastard? If I want it, why would I need to do this? Really, what on earth are you thinking about? Li Shuang said speechlessly. Although he didn't do that, the female stars volunteered, so it shouldn't count. While the two were chatting, the situation over there was quickly suppressed, and the police officers arrived quickly. At this time, the fans were being isolated piece by piece to let the two victims inside come out. However, the first person to come out was not the victim, but a perpetrator. This person was pressed to walk in front of the two people, and he was still talking while walking. But Li Gua couldn't understand what he was saying, so Li Shuang had no problem with it, and after seeing Li Gua's questioning eyes, he said, "This man is a Ratan, who specializes in attacking some idols he hates. He attacked Li Haiori this time, and now he is regretting his failed action." Oh. Li Gua nodded as if he understood. Then, under the protection of the bodyguards, the blood from Zhao Jix's forehead flowed onto his sunglasses. While still protecting or hugging Li Haiori in his arms, under the protection of the bodyguards and police, he walked out of an empty passage cleared by the police. Li Shuang quickly saw Zhao Jixi among the crowd, because the hat on his head was the one that Zhao Jixi snatched from him. In addition to Zhao Jixi's figure, Li Shuang recognized him quickly. What is this kid doing? The wound on his forehead. Li Shuang was a little anxious and was about to go inside to see if the boy was okay, but he was stopped at the airport. No matter what he said, he was not allowed to approach or go over. In addition, there was a lot of noise on this side, and even if he called Zhao Jixi, he didn't know if he could hear it. So he didn't think about this idea, but still tried to go in. But the police definitely didn't want to, and told him not to make trouble anymore, or else they would invite him to the police station first and let him reflect on what it means to obstruct public service. Brother Shuang, what's wrong? What's going on? Li Gua asked Li Shuang, who was stopped outside by the police. The man holding Li Haiori is my brother Zhao Jixi. Ah. Chapter 270, A Chance Encounter Upon Returning to China. This is the 270th chapter, the original one was 72. I'm so dizzy, I'm so sorry to all the readers. Now I have changed it back. Those who have subscribed to Hero Saves Beauty and Li Shuang and Li Gua don't have to subscribe. And he has been in the United States for a while now, and has also come into contact with a group of American friends, some good and some bad. But most of them are from the wealthy class. They are the kind who have some money and don't need to worry about food and clothing. But Zhao Jixi found that they seemed to have their own jobs, no matter how rich they were. These people generally have an American style idea that work is a reflection of people's abilities and values. So he thinks he should do something, and he must leave his name in history. Otherwise, it seems that there is no difference between being reborn and living before. Of course, in terms of daily necessities and rewarding his younger brother, he has made great progress. In the past, he was very confused and didn't know what he wanted. Although he has thought of some now, he doesn't think too long term, as long as he achieves the goal in front of him. Do I think I have awakened this time? Isn't the level of my thought a bit higher? As expected, the improvement in my life level has also improved my spiritual level. Capital International Airport. Zhao Jixi was dressed casually, but he was wearing branded men's clothing, a cap on his head, and sunglasses on his face. He was holding a small black travel bag from LV in his hand, and wearing a watch worth millions of dollars. His low-key outfit seemed a bit secretive, but it showed his showy heart. Zhao Jixi did not go out through the VIP channel. He couldn't stand the saying that he didn't return home when he was rich and powerful, and he was wearing fine clothes at night. So he followed everyone out. Otherwise, where would he go to show off his showy equipment? But when he went out of the airport channel, he heard a lot of shouting outside. He was a little confused for a moment. What's going on? Seeing these people looking at him excitedly, some of them even shed tears of excitement. But why did he feel a little disgusted, with goosebumps all over his body? Damn, those men are sick. But after watching for a while, he realized that this situation seemed to be welcoming a star. But why are they staring at him? Really, the sign seems to say, oh, this is Li Hio. Li. Hey, Li Hio-ri. Jay Chou can now read Korean, so he quickly understood what these words meant. Li Hio-ri was really angry at this moment. She had just finished attending the scheduled announcement in the United States. She was about to come to China to participate in an event, and before she had a good rest in the United States, she flew to the capital again to attend a business announcement here. But she had just gotten off the plane and was ready to come out. Seeing that there were still many fans outside, she secretly dressed up before coming out. But when she came out, she was blocked by a man who suddenly stopped in front of her. If her assistant hadn't pulled her aside, she would have almost bumped into the man's back. If this was photographed by reporters and sent back to Korea, it would be a real disgrace to the Republic of Korea. However, in order to maintain her image, she was very generous and didn't bother with this person. But she didn't know if this person did it on purpose. He walked and stopped for only 10 meters, and he didn't know how many times he stopped. And he almost never looked back and walked in front of her. Ego. This person is not only intentional, but also has eyes on the back of his head. He is always in front of me, and the road is white. I'm so angry. Lee Hyori was angry in her heart, but she couldn't get angry now, and her agent just signaled that this person didn't seem to be simple. Women are always sensitive to famous brands. She took a casual look and found that this man was wearing famous brands all over. And if the watch is not counted, the total amount of his clothes would be tens of thousands of US dollars. If the watch she just saw is added, then this man's clothes would be worth millions of US dollars. Lee Hyori knew that this person was not easy to mess with without thinking. And this is in a foreign country, but even in Korea, it is not easy to mess with. Moreover, according to the frugal character of Koreans, they rarely spend a lot of money on such things. AIZ, this person is a mobile vault. He is not afraid of being robbed. Lee Hyori sighed. Although she has made a little money in these years, it is all money from hard work. How much have I made in these years? His watch is almost equivalent to a quarter of my assets. This is what I have earned from releasing albums, advertising and endorsements for so many years since my debut. Lee Hyori sighed for her vault and compared it with her assets worth more than 10 million US dollars. After looking at Zhou watch, she could only feel helpless. Thinking about it, she was a little dazed, and at this time, the assistant next to her just answered a call from a company, and the other assistants and bodyguards next to them were still looking at the fans nervously at this time. It would be bad if they came in and something unexpected happened. So the weird Zhou and Lee Hyori walked on the same road, one after the other. Lee Hyori was stunned for a while, and then she bumped into Zhou's back. Ah! He screamed, and because he was wearing a baseball cap, he bumped into Baozi. Under the force, the baseball cap just flipped up and fell to the ground. Zhou felt strange walking on the road because there were several men in the fan group staring at him. If there were not so many people here, he would have wanted to go up and grab their clothes and ask, "Fuck, why are you looking at me like that? Are you gay?" He now felt that he was a person of status and he couldn't bother with them, so he just avoided them. But these guys, he only walked a distance of more than 10 meters, and he moved several times to avoid their eyes, but he actually became more and more excited about these people. If he didn't see that these people were in the same group as this group of fans, and there were quite a lot of people, he really wanted to go up and teach them a lesson. It is also illegal to look at people, especially when they look at me with such eyes. But before he could take action, he was suddenly hit on the back. Then a female voice screamed, "Ah!" He immediately knew that someone had bumped into him, but he was about to get angry, and when he turned around, he saw a sexy and slightly charming mature woman. This girl is pretty good looking, but she looks a little familiar. He immediately thought of who this woman was. Isn't this Lee Hyori? She's really pretty, but it's a pity that she got stabbed with cow dung later. Chapter 273. Is Lee Hyori shy? In the police station at the airport, Zhou had already asked Lee Hyori to put on a band-aid. A pink and white powder area in the middle, and a small adhesive area next to it. A much smaller band-aid than a traditional band-aid. It looks very cute, and with this color, it is really cool. After putting it on, Lee Hyori felt a little embarrassed. She was nervous or selectively forgot. Now she thought about it, it seemed like she was in his arms. Her body was pressed against his, and she came to this police station with him. Thinking of this, her face turned a little red. It was not embarrassing, but she just felt a little hot. Usually, she had these for the effect on stage, and she was not the kind of girl who had never had a girlfriend, but this time it was a little hot, a little red, and a little embarrassing. Thinking about when she was in his arms just now, Lee Hyo-ri inexplicably felt a very safe feeling. It was as if with the existence of this person in front of her, she didn't have to worry about anything, and all the wind, rain and danger were blocked outside by him. As they walked along, Lee Hyo-ri was still foolishly breathing in the breath in Jae-chow's arms, a faint smell that was very fragrant, but also very mellow and profound. As they walked on the road, she deliberately put her face close to him and listened to the beating of his strong heart with her ears. At this moment, even the noise outside seemed to disappear, and for a moment there was only the beating sound of bang, bang, bang. They were both his and hers, and she couldn't tell them apart now. When they arrived at the police station, Jae-chow let her go, and Lee Hyo-ri was still in a daze for a while. Everyone thought she was scared at this time, so they didn't think much about it. Until she saw Jae-chow sitting down with a tired look, especially the wound on his forehead that was injured for her was still bleeding. She, Lee Hyo-ri, woke up and suddenly became a little panicked. What should I do? What should I do? What should I do? Just like that, she panicked in her heart and began to search her bag a little frantically. The two assistants next to her looked at her nervously. One of the women wanted to go up and say something, but was stopped by an older male assistant next to her. When the assistant asked, he shook his head and whispered to her, "She needs to vent." Lee Hyo-ri's bag was like a treasure chest. She rummaged through it until she found some disinfectant, cotton swabs, band-aids, etc., and then she seemed to feel relieved. However, the female assistant next to her was very upset. Lee Hyo-ri was not rummaging through her own bag. With her personality, she rarely did this. So it was obvious that she was rummaging through the bag of the assistant who was known as the treasure chest assistant. The young assistant was helpless. Then, Lee Hyo-ri walked to Jae-chow who was sitting on a chair and saw that he was wearing a pair of cool sunglasses. The corners of her mouth could not help but reveal a smile. What a man who likes to act handsome and cool. But this look is really so tasteful. She has a good impression of men who know how to dress up. She thinks that men who can take care of their own image will also take care of everything about themselves. Although this does not mean that men who can't take care of themselves can't take care of other things. This is just one of the types she likes, so it doesn't mean anything. Hello, thank you so much just now. If it weren't for you, I believe I would be very miserable. Lee Hyo-ri said to Jae-chow very politely at this time, but later it was obvious that everyone knew it. You're welcome. It was just an accident just now. I thought this person was coming for me. Because I obviously did something that made people angry just now, so I thought there was a crazy fan who wanted to teach me a lesson for his idol. Jae-chow said to Lee Hyo-ri. As for whether he had any thoughts about the incident just now, it was not something that others could know. Lee Hyo-ri laughed softly, and obviously she also thought of the thing that made her angry just now. But now thinking about it, it has a different taste. Lee Hyo-ri feels that this is a kind of fate. If it weren't for this incident, she might have been hurt. And it was because of this incident that she met Jae-chow. But she obviously didn't know that if there was no Jae-chow, this incident might not have happened. Because when Jae-chow was there in the previous life, this incident did not happen to her. But this incident happened in this life, and it is obvious that Jae-chow is a factor in it. Either because of Jae-chow's eyes, or because of some other reason. In the previous life, when this man did not start, this life was started because of the accident of Jae-chow. So Jae-chow also has a little guilt about this. Of course, this is just a little bit. If there is more, how can he take care of it? Just because he was reborn, then maybe if he did anything casually, it might trigger a butterfly effect, indirectly killing or saving a person. Of course, Lee Hyo-ri would not know this, but just felt that this man had a humble quality. It is a fact that you saved me. No matter what your purpose was, I benefited in the end. And you could have avoided it, but you didn't. Instead, you protected me with your body. Thank you so much. Lee Hyo-ri bowed and said, No, Zhou Jixi said. Annie is too polite. It was just an accident. Don't mind it. Lee Hyo-ri didn't thank him at this time. She remembered what she was doing. In addition to thanking him, she also helped Zhao Jixi clean his wound. Your sunglasses are stained with blood. Take them off and wipe them first. And your forehead is still bleeding. Zhao Jixi took off the sunglasses on his face. Li Haiori could see the man's full face clearly. He looks good, very handsome. She sighed in her heart. Don't move yet, I'll help you wipe the wound on your forehead. It's still secreting blood. Li Haiori said as she took out disinfectant alcohol and some gauze and started wiping it on Jay Chow's forehead. Jay Chow was a little dazed by Li Haiori. What's going on? But he also found that there were small glass fragments on the wound just now, which have now been cleaned up by Li Haiori. So Jay Chow said, Annie, my name is Jay Chow. You can still call me Jay Chow or Jesse in the future, or Reiji or anything. Jay Chow Z. Li Haiori just said the honorific out of habit. Although she is older, she can tell at a glance that Jay Chow's identity is not ordinary, so she said it is an honorific. But she realized something was wrong when she said it, and a sour feeling flashed through her heart. She quickly changed her words according to Jay Chow's meaning and said, then I'll still call you Jesse. Chapter 274. Several people met. Yeah. Zhao Jixi responded. Now the situation is developing very well, and he is very satisfied with it. So the two of them became familiar with each other. When Li Haiori helped Zhao Jixi deal with his wounds, the two also talked about a lot of topics. The police wanted to come over to record a transcript, but they were stopped by Li Haiori's assistant. Zhao Jixi didn't know what reason he found, or what he said to the police. When Li Haiori helped him deal with his wounds, they didn't come to disturb him. But these were different from what he thought. In fact, the police had to deal with the criminal first. After all, he was a foreigner. So let him admit the crime first, and say that it had nothing to do with the Celestial Empire. After he explained it, he came to explain it to Li Haiori. In principle, several female police officers should come to comfort her, but they were stopped by her assistant, saying that Li Haiori had no problem, and she was not free now. All Koreans know how lucky it is to be related to a rich man. Although some of them are disgusting guys, there are also many people with principles. In fact, the local chaebols and wealthy people in South Korea, whether they are from the first generation or the second generation, don't really want to have anything to do with women in the entertainment industry. Those scandals will only cause trouble and disappoint their parents. This is undoubtedly a blow to them. Only those wealthy people who are neither up nor down are interested in dating female stars, and these people are actually irrelevant to those big entertainment companies. Only small entertainment companies like to curry favor with and send small stars. Now they see that Jay Chow has no ill feelings towards Li Haiori, and the two of them chat well. It is obviously a good thing to be on good terms with each other without letting the other party blame him for his own affairs. And this person is a foreign tycoon. Although I don't know how much money this person has and how much influence he has, it is always good to be on good terms with him when the fault lies with him. Later, facts also proved that they did a good job. With the help of Jay Chow, in addition to Li Haiori, their assistants also gained a lot of benefits. Although it is very likely that it is just a cool benefit or a dinner and free drinks, but in stingy South Korea, it still makes people feel happy, especially when the person is a famous rich man. When Lee Shuang found out that it was Jay Chow, he was a little anxious, and he didn't know what happened. Originally, he could find a fan nearby to ask and find out what happened, but he was a little anxious now, so when he saw Jay Chow followed the police, he followed them. Brother Shuang, wait for me. Li Gua saw Li Shuang walking away and hurriedly shouted from behind and followed him. Oh, I'm sorry, Guazi, I was so anxious just now. Li Shuang woke up after Li Gua called him. Then what are you doing? Li Gua asked him. Li Shuang was not anxious at this time. I was so anxious just now. Now I think about it. This guy can still walk with a beautiful woman in his arms. There are so many people around him. How could he look like he is in trouble? Oh. Haha. Li Gua smiled knowingly. His eyes couldn't stop being ambiguous. After waiting for a while, the two went to the airport police station. When they walked outside, they were stopped by the police. Now there is a star inside, so no one will be allowed in without any necessary things. The two said that they were friends of the injured person inside and came to see if he was okay. The police looked at their clothes. Li Shuang and Li Gua both looked like they were not short of money, so their clothes and temperament were very good. The police did not suspect that this person was a fan or something like that. After asking for instructions, the director agreed, but asked for an inspection, and then someone had to follow them to avoid any accidents. And it was a problem in the police station, which was really embarrassing. When the two walked in, they saw Li Hyo-ri helping Jay Chou put on a band-aid. But the post was posted, and Li Hyo-ri actually showed a little woman's look after posting it. Li Shuang found that Zhao Jix's eyes flashed with light, and his expression was like he got something for nothing. I said that this kid is fine, and he looks like he is still enjoying it. This kid is really, I worried for nothing. Li Shuang said to Li Gua. Li Gua laughed, but did not express any opinions. After all, he was not very familiar with Zhao Jixi. After Li Shuang finished speaking, he walked closer and pretended to cough twice to attract Zhao Jixi's attention. Obviously he succeeded. Zhao Jixi looked over at this time. When he saw Li Shuang's face and the meaningful look, he knew that this kid must know what he was thinking. Li Shuang quickened his pace and walked forward a few steps and said, "Jess, what's the matter with you? Are you okay?" The assistants around the two also heard the voice. When they knew that he was an acquaintance of Zhao Jixi, they quickly made way for them to pass. However, two of the assistants showed shocked expressions. Isn't this person Li Shuang, the director of SBS TV station? Why is he here? This was obviously the common question of the two people. Zhao Jixi touched the wound on his forehead, smiled at him and said, "I saw it all. How can such a small wound be a problem? By the way, you are so slow to pick me up at the airport. I don't think I saw you. How dare you say that, kid? I have been waiting for you outside for a long time, but I just didn't see you. My friends and I have been waiting for you for a long time." Zhao Jixi was obviously a little embarrassed at this time. When he was about to pretend to be honest, he remembered that the action of touching the back of his head was obviously a little stupid in this situation. So the hand that was going to the back of his head stopped abruptly and smiled awkwardly at him. He started to fight back and said, "I came back specially for you, and you are impatient after waiting for a while. No, I'm unhappy now. I want to go back to the United States." After saying that, Zhao Jixi pretended to leave. Okay, it's my fault, Li Shuang quickly said in a submissive tone. Seeing the two people joking familiarly, the people around them also knew that they must have a good relationship. In addition, Zhao Jixi, a grown man, also had a childish side, which really opened Li Hyo-ri's eyes. But after the two chatted for a while, Li Hyo-ri found something wrong, but she didn't know what was wrong. But soon her assistant also felt the same, but she recognized that this person was actually Li Shuang, and Li Hyo-ri was also a little surprised to meet him in China. Chapter 275. Nothing really happened. Zhao Jixi noticed that the two of them had neglected Li Hyo-ri, so he quickly said to Li Shuang, "Shuang, I forgot what we were talking about. Come, let me introduce you to a Korean beauty. Let me tell you, this is my new friend. It's fun to chat with her." Zhao Jixi pointed at Li Hyo-ri and said, "And she is Li Hyo-ri. You should know her in Korea." Li Hyo-ri heard Zhao Jixi and Li Shuang mention her in Korean, so she understood what they were saying. Seeing Zhao Jixi introduce her to Li Shuang as a friend, she couldn't help but smile. Li Shuang said to Zhao Jixi with a smile, "Haha. Why do I need you to introduce me? I have known Li Hyo-ri for a long time." As for Zhao Jixi's little thoughts, he still understood a little. "Oh," Zhao Jixi said in surprise, and then looked at Li Hyo-ri. "Well, Director Li, we knew each other when we were at the TV station before." Li Hyo-ri said to Zhao Jixi, "Oh, I forgot. Your TV station seems to have done something. Oh, the birth of a family. Yes. Li Hyo-ri is performing in it. Look at how careless I am," Jay Chou said, patting his forehead. Li Hyo-ri also smiled, looked at him with a little surprise and said, "I didn't expect that you have also watched this show, Jess. It's such an honor." "Haha. I have watched some Li Hyo-ri's performance and it is very eye-catching," Jay Chou said to her with a smile. After Li Hyo-ri said a few words to Jay Chou, she looked at Li Shuang and came over to greet him. Hello, Director Lee. I didn't expect to meet you in China. Li Hio-ri, you are too polite. You are still my senior. Just call me Li Shuang. Li Shuang said to Li Hio-ri politely. This tone would be impossible in Korea. One of them is a director and shareholder of a large TV station, and the other is a singer, no matter how famous he is. In fact, they are not people of the same level. If they have some interactions, it would be fine. But if they don't, he usually doesn't bother to care about any singers. But now he knows what Jay Chou means, so he has to give him face and speak to Li Hio-ri like this. Li Hio-ri was a little shocked when she heard what Li Shuang said. Although she also has some interactions with many presidents and directors, they are obviously not so sincere and polite. Moreover, Li Shuang was one of them before, and she was just a cooperative relationship with her. She joined the program Birth of a Family and also worked for the TV station. So during several dinners and celebrations, she also said a few words to you very politely. Speaking of becoming friends, it feels that the possibility is still very small. But this is just a social event. She will only think of you when she is useful later. The people who have contact with her are their subordinates, the PD and producers. Li Shuang obviously changed his attitude towards her when he saw Jay Chou saying that he was his friend out of respect for his friend. Seeing Li Shuang's completely different attitude from before, Li Hio-ri also understood. It seems that the relationship between the two of them is not ordinary. She sighed in her heart. Although she was a little surprised, she still responded politely. Well, Li Shuang, just call me by my name. She still had to say this. Li Shuang just said that if they were counted as seniors and juniors, then she was older than him. If she didn't say it, Li Shuang would have to use honorifics when talking to her, which was obviously a bit inappropriate. Zhou Jixi obviously knew some Korean etiquette, but he really didn't like these cumbersome Korean etiquette. Seeing that the two of them had to agree on the conversation first and communicated according to their seniority and status. These Koreans have so many things to do. How can such a small country be so troublesome? After that, Li Shuang introduced Li Gua, who came with him, to the two of them, and Zhou Jixi also shook hands with this person and said hello. But Li Gua didn't understand Korean very well, and Li Hio-ri didn't speak Chinese very well. I only know some phrases, like I love you guys, thank you, hello everyone. So Li Shuang and Zhou Jixi also played the role of translators, and the two also said hello. But Li Gua was still a little happy. After all, he met this Korean female star. This person is not common at ordinary times. Fortunately, I caught up with her now, otherwise I really couldn't see her. At this point, Li Shuang asked what happened just now, and he even injured his forehead. Zhou Jixi simply told Li Shuang what happened just now after some artistic processing. After listening to it, Li Shuang was still a little emotional. Zhou Jixi actually encountered such a good plot. Why didn't he encounter such a good plot when he was on a blind date? If I encountered this, why would I ask this kid to come back to do something? It would be great if I could just save the woman myself, and then the woman would pledge herself to him. Li Shuang was a little jealous of Zhou Jixi's luck with women and said to him in a slightly sour tone, "You are so good, you are a hero, and save the beauty, and you have made a great contribution to the entertainment industry of the Republic of Korea. It's really amazing. But this person hurt you. It seems that the kung fu you learned is obviously not good enough. I can't dodge. Didn't I just say that if I dodge, the woman will be hurt? So I couldn't walk away at that time, although I calculated that the thing might be able to dodge when it hit me. But I made a mistake in calculation, so I had to take it myself." Zhou Jixi explained to Li Shuang. At this time, the interrogation work inside has been completed, and the police are going to come over and ask the two to record the record. Zhou Jixi also went with them, but they went into the office separately when recording. The police first asked some necessary questions, such as name, nationality, gender, etc. Although it was nonsense, it was a procedure and it still had to be reviewed. Zhou Jixi just told them about the situation at that time, and then the police asked some questions when necessary. When Zhou Jixi was asked to add something, he spoke to the police uncles very seriously. Although when I read novels in my previous life, these people seem to be negative talents. The good people in them are often big fools or too righteous, or beautiful policewomen. But what Zhou Jixi encountered was not the kind that those novel authors encountered. Everything looked very normal and ordinary. One or two of them were fat and big-eared, and some were very strong. Some auxiliary police officers looked ugly. Damn, there were actually a few who looked like Shamat. Can this be a little more excessive? Temporary workers should also look good. There were also a few young auxiliary police officers mixed in. When they saw the Hiyori, they looked very excited. Obviously, they had heard of this Korean star, especially the sexy queen, who was very loving. Well, thank you Mr. Zhou for your cooperation. We are really bothering you today, a police uncle said to Zhou Jixi kindly. He was not recording a statement now, so his expression was no longer as serious as before. At this moment, Zhou Jixi was still expecting something to happen, and then he stepped on their faces with great power. That's good. Don't you have anything else to ask? Zhou Jixi said to the police in front of him. No. Are you sure? Haha, Mr. Zhou, we thank you for understanding our work, but we will find out the specifics. We have already recorded your case. If you want to sue this person, we will also accept it. But it may be transferred to Seoul, and then we will hand over the evidence to the Seoul police. This guy is a little bit wrong. Am I not destined to be the protagonist? Zhou Jixi suddenly began to doubt and self-examine. Chapter 276 Transaction. The police thought that Jay Chou wanted to sue him. After all, the Americans like to talk about the law in this regard. They always say, you can talk to my lawyer. If you have any questions, you can find my lawyer. Just wait for my lawyer's letter. Oh, oops. Jay Chou said in surprise. It seems that he is also a victim. Thank you, Officer QIU. If you didn't say it, I almost forgot. I'm also a victim. You are right. I will sue him too. Damn, a Korean stick dared to hurt the old. Jay Chou paused here. Then he said, I must make him pay for what he did. Officer QIU couldn't help but be a little speechless. It was not just about whether he should sue this person. There was also the obvious racial discrimination against Jay Chou, and Jay Chou said, you are a banana. What are you talking about here? At this time, outside the airport police station, there were already many reporters who came after hearing the news, although there was only one with obvious Korean style. But what happened was very explosive. A Korean star summoned a fanzatin in China, and it was said that they were from their own country. I believe that, even if it was reported, it would not be censored. Hey, Leo Chen, tell me what good things you have here today. Don't worry, I won't treat you badly. A man with a big framed glasses said to a man with a wretched appearance. As he spoke, he put his arm around Lin Nan's shoulder and pulled him towards the toilet outside. Leo Lin, you really found the right person now. I don't know how they are, but I took a lot of good shots. Enough for you to go back and write possible articles. We have also done several transactions. This time it is still the same price. The wretched man patted his camera at Lin Nan and said proudly, okay, but as usual, I'll give you half first, and then I'll give you the other half, after I've looked at it once. Okay, I still trust you, old Lin. Don't worry, I definitely took a good angle. Although the man's photo is not clear enough, just look at his movements. It's definitely very ambiguous, enough for you to report back. The wretched man said to Lin Nan. Hey, think about it, you're actually living a comfortable life. If you take good photos, you can sell them for cash, but I still have to go back to the editor-in-chief to report. My life is not comparable. After seeing that the deal was confirmed, Lin Nan followed the man to make friends. Come on, look at what you said. How can your job be as comfortable as yours? I just make a hard-earned living. The wretched man said with a wry smile. Take a look. If it's okay, pay the money. Judging from the situation, I probably won't be able to take any photos. I have to go back now. Okay, let me take a look first. Lin Nan turned around and looked at his camera and the photos he took. At the beginning, Lee Hyori got off the plane, and then a man was in front and Lee Hyori was behind. Then there were a few more photos like this. Although Lee Hyori intentionally kept a distance from this person, they still had some tacit understanding, and the two of them unconsciously got closer. Well, these are okay, Lin Nan said when he saw it. The man smiled happily when he heard it, thinking that he had earned the money. Then Li Hao bumped into Jay Chou, but in the photo it seemed that the two were playing something, with Li Hao's head leaning against Jay Chou's back. This was obviously a very ambiguous photo. Next was the attacker, but because he came too quickly, the wretched man didn't take a clear picture. Then it was the explosive point. Jay Chou hugged Li Hao and pulled her into his arms. Then the object exploded in front of Jay Chou's forehead, and Lin Nan's eyes couldn't help but pause when he looked at it, and he saw a watch. This gave him a very familiar feeling, and he hurriedly thought about it in his mind. He must have seen this thing, and it was in a relatively important event. Airport, accident, oh my god, isn't that the report about Zhang Ziyi at that time? And her rumored boyfriend seemed to be wearing this watch as well. It had only been a short time since the incident, so Lin Nan could still recall a lot of things. He had gained a lot of benefits from this incident at that time, so he couldn't help but be impressed. The man at that time was also wearing sunglasses, and the style was similar to his, and he also had a watch worth millions of dollars. It was a watch of that brand at that time, and not many people in the world have this thing. It seems that this man is the man at that time. I actually encountered this good thing. I have to write a big article about it when I go back, and it just so happens that Zhang Ziyi's recent affair with her foreign boyfriend is still being hyped. I'm going to add fuel to the fire this time and use an international movie star's old injury as a cover, and her new boyfriend is cheating on Korean pop singer Lee Hyori. The more Lin Nan thought about it, the more he felt that it had a selling point, but the name was too long, so he simply wrote it simply. Zhang Ziyi's new boyfriend has a new love, and she sacrificed herself to protect Korean pop sexy actress Lee Hyori at the airport. This title is expected to be a hit. He was determined to get the photos, but he still controlled his expression to avoid being too excited and letting the wretched man notice anything. Okay, Leo Chen, these things of yours are good. Give me the photos and I'll give you all the money now, Lin Nan said with a little bit of joy. His expression was not too exaggerated, as if he was going to report back. The wretched man didn't doubt anything, so when he heard that Lin Nan was going to give him the money, his face wrinkled with laughter. His eyes couldn't even be seen, and his face looked like a rat's face. Okay, it turns out that you, old Lin, are the most knowledgeable and straightforward in this business. That's right, I, old Lin, will spend the money I need to spend. After all, we all have to make a living. As he said that, Lin Nan took out the money, licked his fingers, and counted the money. Here, check if the amount is right. No, I saw it when you counted just now, so I won't count it. I trust you, old Lin. The wretched man put the money in his pocket and then said, then I give it to you, and I should go back now. Then he gave Lin Nan what he wanted. Okay, see you then. I'll treat you to tea another day. After Lin Nan said that, he saw the wretched man leave, and then he walked out quickly, walked in another direction, and then went to the parking lot to get the car out and drove quickly to the newspaper office. Zhou Jixi and others also knew that there was a group of people outside, and if they walked through the main entrance, they couldn't get out at all. Lee Hyori couldn't get out, so several people looked a little anxious. Fortunately, the police uncles were very humane. They asked them to sit in the police car and go from the back, and then asked a group of assistants to wait at the front door to drag the reporters. So the matter was solved smoothly. Zhou Jixi and Lee Hyori also came out. The police car first dropped Li Shuang off the car. He still had to drive the car back, and Lee Hyori had to rush to the business conference at this time. The car that came to pick him up had been notified to wait outside. Lee Hyori, who was sitting in the back seat of the car, couldn't help but express her gratitude to Zhou Jixi again. Thank you very much, Jixi. I can take a break after this notice. Leave me your phone number, and I will definitely treat you to a meal when the time comes. No need to thank you again, Unni. You don't know how many times you have thanked me. Now I feel a little embarrassed to thank you. For this little wound, I got the thanks of a beautiful woman. I think it's still very good. Haha. Zhou Jixi said. Then Jay Chou said, but do you really want to treat me to a meal? Actually, you don't have to be so polite. Jay Chou said this first, and then said to her with a sly look. Z, how can you think that? Li Hiouri heard Jay Chou's words and first felt strange in her heart. Of course it was only a flash. Soon she recovered and said to Jay Chou, "Of course. Do you think I'm joking?" Li Hiouri said, still showing a serious expression. Chapter 277. I feel a little bit. Well, it doesn't look like that. Well, as long as you're not afraid of eating me out of money, then you can do whatever you want. I'm looking forward to it. Zhao Jixi said. Don't worry, there's still a lot of money in my piggy bank. Even if you eat the most expensive food, you can't make me go out of money. Li Hiouri said to Zhao Jixi with a smug look on her face, and she smiled, obviously finding what he said funny. Fortunately, Li Shuang was not there, otherwise he would have laughed secretly in his heart when he saw Li Hiouri's smug smile. And he would have mourned for this ignorant woman for a few minutes in his heart. Then, he turned around and told Zhao Jixi to save his stomach that day, and when he went there, he must eat until she was stunned and her wallet was flat. That would definitely be fun, but even if he was not there, Li Hiouri was still stunned when they ate that day. It would be great if I could take a picture of that scene at that time. Li Shuang thought with regret. The policeman who came out to see someone off told Zhao Jixi and the others the news after seeing that there were not many people nearby. Zhao Jixi and the others thought for a while, and Zhao decided to get off here first. After getting off the bus, the few people were dressed up. Zhao Jixi imitated the style on TV, excitedly shook his hands with both hands and said, "Thank you so much for today, police comrade. There should be more good public servants like you in the police system. Thank you for today's matter," Zhao Jixi said politely. "Yes, I really appreciate your help." Li Hiouri also said something to the police, and then she looked at Zhao Jixi and signaled him with her eyes. Zhao Jixi also winked and looked over. "What do you mean?" Li Hiouri suddenly felt a little depressed and a little annoyed. Why is this person so stupid? But Zhao Jixi suddenly smiled secretly and said to the somewhat confused police comrade, "Ms. Li Hiouri said she is very grateful to you." "Oh. Haha, this is what we should do. To serve the people, even if it is a foreign friendly country, we will do our best." The policeman immediately replied politely when he heard what Zhao Jixi said. Soon, the car behind drove over, and Zhao Jixi and Li Hiouri said goodbye to the kind policeman. Then they said goodbye and got on their respective cars. Li Hiouri was in a hurry, so she had to leave as soon as possible to participate in today's event. Li Hiouri was now thinking about ending the event as soon as possible. If it weren't for the contract, she wouldn't even want to go now. If she went there, she would annoy the reporters to death. But the other party is a big company, and she is also their spokesperson, so no matter from which aspect, she has to go. Sometimes stars are obviously not as glorious as they seem on the surface, and only they know the bitterness in secret. Most celebrities are in a state of being glorious in front of people, but crying behind their backs. South Korea is even more serious. Many celebrities cannot stand this kind of life, so they commit suicide. There are 1 or 2 such cases in South Korea every year. When she entered the police station just now, her assistant had already contacted the company in South Korea. He asked the company to do crisis public relations first to avoid affecting her reputation. He also said hello to some media and reported the incident in a favorable way to attract public sympathy. In South Korea, it is difficult for artists like them to deal with such TN. If they sue them, it will only arouse more TN. So artists can only bite their teeth and swallow such things. Even if they hate it in their hearts, as long as they still want to mix in this circle, they can only bear it themselves. In the end, they may even have to pay for the medical expenses themselves. But at this moment, she knew that Jay Chou decided to sue this person for assault, so she had to make it clear to the company. This was not the one she wanted to sue, but the other person in this matter wanted to sue. Thinking of the troubles ahead, Li Hiouri closed her eyes and rubbed her temples to relieve her tired spirit. Zhao Jixi got into Li Shuang's car, looking outside, not knowing what he was thinking about. Li Shuang, who was driving next to him, smiled and said to him, "What's wrong, Jixi? You miss that woman right after you broke up with her. She seems to be much older than you. Is this woman so attractive? Go away. What are you thinking about?" "I'm not thinking about this. Don't you know that I have a lot of things to do now?" How can I think about women all the time? Zhao Jixi pouted and said to Li Shuang. Also, her name is Li Haiori. Don't talk about that woman or that woman. If people hear it, it will make you look so shallow and impolite. How embarrassing it will be. Really? Oh, look at your face now, and you still say you are not thinking about that woman. As soon as Li Shuang said this, Zhao Jixi looked over. After seeing Zhao Jixi's eyes, he said, okay, Li Haiori, I was just testing you just now. What kind of face do I have? Come on, drive your car. You are still talking so much nonsense while driving. The lives of everyone in the car depend on you. Take it easy. Zhao Jixi paused here and said, but this Li Haiori is quite interesting. Even if we are not in that relationship, it's not bad to make friends with her, right? Zhao Jixi didn't know whether he was talking to himself or Li Shuang. Look, I don't know you yet. Just think I can see through your little tricks. Even Guazi can see through it, but you are still here thinking no one knows. Li Shuang said to Zhao Jixi with a smile. Is it really that obvious? Yeah. Li Shuang nodded in response. Then Zhao Jixi looked at Li Gua and said, oh, Guazi, you can see through it too? It's okay, but I was reminded by Shuang brother. Li Gua said to Zhao Jixi. Forget it, just see through it, and then think of a way. I don't believe it. I'm a bachelor, and I can't pick up a Korean star? Zhao Jixi said, after thinking for a while. Sure enough, the facts prove that you are much thicker skinned than me. Li Shuang said. Li Gua said directly, thinking in his mind, is this popular among the rich now? It seems that, in order to keep up with the trend, I have to change myself. The car quickly drove to where Li Shuang lives now. He originally wanted to buy a house in the capital, but he was obviously shocked by the housing prices in the capital. Buying a small house is a pure waste of money, which is quite embarrassing. But if he wants to buy a big one, it will be too expensive. And he doesn't come here many times a year, so it would be even more wasteful to buy it. In addition, he sometimes has to run back and forth recently, almost like a frequent flyer. Fortunately, he is in charge of the TV station's business in China recently, but he also has to fly all over China. So Li Shuang rented a villa here first. Anyway, he will only live there for a while. After his mother has had enough fun, she will leave the capital. As for him, he has a hotel to stay in anyway, so it doesn't matter much whether he lives in this kind of villa or not. Moreover, his current career is in South Korea. Although China is his route, he can't settle down here for the time being. Zhao Jixi stood at the door of the villa. Two large stone lions were placed outside, looking very majestic. Zhao Jixi liked them secretly. He thought of getting two for his farm in the future, and placing them in front of the gate. Of course, the size of this one should be larger than his. Shuang, you live well here. Look at the two large lions at the door. They are so majestic. And I recently looked up Feng Shui. The Feng Shui of your house is still good. Zhao Jixi said with emotion. It's okay. I feel comfortable living here. I can come and go as I want. It's more convenient. Li Shuang said. Zhao Jixi followed him in. Li Shuang was also used to enjoying it. So although he was just renting it now, he also hired two nannies to take care of the villa and his life. PS. These books are all from brothers in the advertising building. If you are short of books, you can go and read Fate of Yin and Yang, Countryside Great Master, Crazy Dragon Bodyguard, Skyfire Blood Sword, Star Trek, Beggar Gang Leader, Beggar Bufon. Fast update Pure Text Chapter 278. How does it feel? Mr. Lee is back. The nanny greeted him. Well, ask Sister Chen to make some food and stir fry some side dishes. We are all a little hungry. Li Shuang said, and called the two to go in. The slippers are all in the shoe cabinet on the right. Jesus is the black one. My mother bought it for you. As for the melon seeds, you can wear whatever you like. Well, I know. Zhao Jixi replied casually, took off his shoes, put on the slippers, and tried them on. They fit well. Haha, my godmother still loves me. She always thinks of me in everything. Li Guo listened to the words and just found a pair to wear, but he understood the relationship between the two families in his heart. It seems that they are not good friends on the surface, but really like children and brothers. Li Gua was thinking at this time, but he kept talking and said casually, well, I know, Shuang brother. Let's go in and see how it is. Zhao Jixi said and walked in. After a casual look, I found that the house was really good. The developer had considered the lighting and other issues when building it. In addition, the original owner of this place was also a meticulous person. Zhao Jixi walked around casually and found that some corners and edges were also well cleaned. Just now, those people followed and did these things. Zhao Jixi felt a little sticky. He followed Li Shuang to casually look at the layout of the villa and then stopped. He found a bathroom and said he wanted to soak in it for a while. After entering, he directly filled the water and rubbed it casually. Seeing that the door and other things were locked, he flashed into the space. Using that different time ratio, he took a good rest in it. When Zhao Jixi came out again, he was already in high spirits. He looked at the time and found that more than 40 minutes had passed. It felt that it was about time to go out now. He picked up the towel and wiped it casually. After narcissistically gesturing in the mirror for a while, he walked out. When Zhao Jixi arrived in the living room, he found that Li Gua and Li Shuang were already there drinking tea. You guys are really quick. He found a place to sit down, picked up a cup of tea poured by Li Shuang, tasted it carefully and drank it. It's just that I'm a little sweaty. Just take a shower. It's normal for you to take a longer bath after flying for so long. I take a good bath every time I come back from a flight recently and then light a stick of sandalwood in it and my whole body feels comfortable and clear. Li Shuang also said while drinking tea. But he got excited again when he said this. Oh, look at my memory. I forgot to tell you just now. It would be more comfortable if you light a stick of sandalwood next to you. Li Gua also looked very interested when he heard it. His eyes rolled around for a few times, and I don't know what he was thinking. Now seeing Li Shuang said this, he said, Brother Shuang, is this thing really as good as you said? Why would I lie to you? Of course it's true. Li Shuang said to Li Gua. Zhao Jixi was also a little interested after hearing this. Although he didn't need this, he was still very interested in the strange effects of things in reality. Shuang, take it out and have a look. Let's try the effect of this good thing first. Okay, wait for me. I'll go upstairs to get one and try it. Li Shuang got up and walked out, going upstairs. So Guazi, are you interested in this? Zhao Jixi just noticed something strange about him. When Li Shuang said there was this thing, his eyes were obviously like light bulbs. Yeah. Li Gua didn't take off anything. This was not something shameful, so Zhao Jixi asked him, and he said it frankly. My dad works very hard. I see that he is not in a good mood recently. So when Shuang brother said it just now, I wanted to get some back for my dad to try. Guazi is very filial, but I think you have basically no hope. Seeing Shuang like this, he treasures it like a baby. Besides, he is not short of money, so he probably won't want to sell it. Zhao Jixi sighed for this person who is about the same age as him and found that sometimes he had wasted the past few decades of his life living selfishly. Li Gua sighed a little disappointed. Although he and Li Shuang are also friends, their relationship can't really be said to be very good. At most, they are just friends. In fact, the only ones who have a good relationship are his mother and Li Shuang's mother. Now that Zhao Jixi has heard about Li Shuang's condition, his idea is probably hopeless. After the two talked for a few words, Li Shuang came down with the things. What are you talking about? You are talking so excitedly. No, we are just talking about whether your thing is real or fake. Let's enjoy it now. Hurry up and try it. What are you still standing there for? Zhao Jixi said to Li Shuang casually. He did not mention what Li Gua said just now. It was obvious that he had to say it himself. If Zhao Jixi mentioned it, he was saying it on behalf of Li Gua. It would be easy for Li Shuang to misunderstand something, and he would not have given it to them at that time. And he and Li Gua were not yet at that kind of relationship. Obviously, it was his brother who said he was at a loss. In the evening, Li Shuang took out his sandalwood, which was packed in a wooden box. The wooden box was made very finely, but it had no smell. Until he opened the box, a fragrance came out immediately. At first the smell was light, but it was very pleasant to smell. Then he took out a thin strip of incense from it. Hey, this is it. I just got this treasure recently. Li Shuang took the sandalwood and put it in front of the two of them and said to them. Li Gua took a deep breath of the fragrance and said, "Wow, this smell is really good." Then he looked shocked, touched his head and body and said, "I don't know if it's an illusion. Why do I feel like I feel a lot more comfortable?" He looked at the two people with a questioning look, as if he wanted to ask them if they had this feeling. Li Shuang smiled proudly and said, "Haha, you are not wrong. You will have this feeling when you take the first puff of this treasure. It may be drug resistance. The more you inhale, the less effective it feels. In the end, you will only feel it when it is lit." Oh. Zhao Jixi was surprised. It seems that there are things in reality that can be compared with those in space. Zhao Jixi thought about it and reached out to take the sandalwood in Li Gua's hand. "Let me try it." He also took a deep breath, and sure enough, the feeling was similar to what they said. This thing seems to be the medicinal cigarette he is smoking now, and his woven grass bracelet, and the effect is definitely much better than that bracelet, even compared to medicinal cigarettes. This world is really amazing. I still know too little. I'm really a bumpkin. Zhao Jixi sighed in his heart. In fact, there are many good things in this world, but obviously not too many. There is a gap compared with his space. With the space, he has an endless supply of good things. And other rare treasures in the world will slowly disappear and run out, which is obviously incomparable. How does Jixi feel? Li Shuang saw that Zhao Jixi was still in a daze after smelling it and asked impatiently. It's like a child who has good things and always wants his friends to know about it so he can show off. Zhao Jixi came back to his senses when he heard his words. He said to Li Shuang, "Well, this sandalwood is good. It really makes my whole body clear when I smell it. But as you said, if it is not lit up, the effect will be getting smaller and smaller." Li Shuang didn't know why, but he was smiling happily at this time, and there was a strange meaning in his eyes when he looked at Zhao Jixi. He narrowed his eyes slightly, as if he was a fox who had stolen something. "Yeah, brother Shuang, where did you get this good thing? Is it convenient?" Li Gua felt a little itchy when he saw this thing, so although he knew it was a bit bad to ask this thing is obviously a good stuff. I believe that, no matter what you use it for, you can get unexpected benefits. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 279 Baby, Part 1. But thinking of his hard-working father, and his increasing number of white hairs, and how he used to be annoyed with him, the more he thought about it, the more he felt that he should do something for his father. He knew that, if he wanted to take a little from Li Shuang, there would still be hope, but if he took more, there would definitely be no hope. He was greedy and wanted to take more, so he took the risk of being disliked by the two and asked shamelessly. Zhao Jixi felt that these words were harsh. How could this person be so ignorant of the current situation? Do you think you are me? You and Li Shuang are brothers, and you can ask anything you want. But I also know what to ask, and what not to ask. After all, everyone has their own asterisk. You are putting Li Shuang on the fire by asking this question. This kid has been so tactless for so long. Li Shuang's eyelids also jumped. This kid is not usually such a rude person. Could it be that the treasure is moving? Seeing that Li Gua is usually quite good, Li Shuang did not pull his face down. But his lack of it doesn't mean Zhao Jixi doesn't have it. His face is a little dark now, and he secretly glanced at Li Shuang. Ask him what he means. This guy's too unreliable. Just asking you casually, what do you mean now? Or are you just giving him the cold shoulder? Li Shuang knew what Zhao Jixi meant at once. The two of them had some tacit understanding. After all, when they were kids and went to beat people up with clubs, they often had such eye contact. Li Shuang shook his head at Zhao Jixi at this time and looked at Li Gua. Seeing that the atmosphere was a bit awkward, Li Gua knew that his words deserved a beating. He quickly explained to the two of them, "Brother Shuang, I actually wanted to see if I could get a little more for my dad. I thought about how I used to be angry with him, and now I see how hard he works every day, so I was a little abrupt. I'm really sorry. Li Gua stood up, looked at his watch and said, I'm really sorry to bother you today. I think it's almost time. I have an appointment at home, so I may have to go back first. Li Gua felt a little embarrassed to stay any longer and prepared to leave first. Hearing this, Li Shuang stood up quickly. Hey, Guazi, what are you doing? Sit down. Today I didn't tell you to leave, so don't leave. It's just a matter of a word. Sit down. Do you think I, Shuang brother, am so stingy? Today you are here, and I can take out the things for everyone to evaluate together. Am I afraid that you will ask this? Li Shuang felt a little angry as he said, I, Li Shuang, am not that kind of person. We are all rubber. I also think Guazi is a good person. Although your question is abrupt, it is for the sake of old father after all, which is a good thing. Okay, sit down first. This Shuang brother, I really. Li Gua was a little excited and moved when he heard Li Shuang's words. Now he didn't know what to say, but he also knew that Li Shuang was using him as a friend. Yes, Guazi, come on, sit down quickly. It's not even time to order food or eat. Sit down. Zhao Jixi also interrupted and said. After a few people pushed and talked for a while, Li Gua sat down. Then Li Shuang went to light up the sandalwood. When he was about to talk about the origin of this thing, he saw the two people closing their eyes and breathing in with a look of enjoyment, as if they had eaten that thing. He couldn't help but pat his head. When he smelled this thing for the first time, he also looked so enjoyable. At that time, he just took a nap, and when he woke up, he felt very comfortable. Now he knew what was going on when he saw the two people. A stick of incense was lit next to the sofa, and several people were lying on the sofa with a comfortable look on their faces. After a while, Zhao Jixi woke up, and Li Shuang saw him at once. Then he smiled mysteriously at him, but didn't say anything. But Zhao Jixi had already seen a lot of strange meanings in it. What's wrong with this kid today? So weird. Li Gua came back to his senses after a while, and he was now shocked. The effect of this thing is really, it's amazing. This is all he was thinking about in his mind now. His head, which was a little swollen, suddenly felt much better, and he even thought through the problems that had been accumulated yesterday. In fact, those problems were not difficult, but they were not simple either. He already had several plans in mind, but he couldn't calm down and think clearly about which one would achieve the best effect. In a short while, he actually figured it out. Li Gua said to them with emotion, I have to say that this is really amazing. He said two amazing things in succession, and he was a little shocked in his heart. Yeah, I was shocked at first. You don't know that I thought I was cheated at that time, but I didn't expect that after trying it. I found out that it was a good treasure. I felt mixed emotions at that time. It was really strange. Li Shuang said with great emotion. Oh. Zhao Jixi raised his eyebrows and exclaimed in surprise. Li Gua was also puzzled. Brother Shuang, is there a story behind this? Yeah, let me tell you. I went out to play for a few days. I didn't expect to meet a Taoist priest on the road. Li Shuang said this and looked at Zhao Jixi with a strange and secretive look. Old Taoist priest? You are also cheating your father. Zhao Jixi immediately understood why this guy looked strange at the beginning. He doesn't think that he was lying at that time. Zhao Jixi suddenly became entangled. He is a person, so it is inevitable to be selfish. Although Li Shuang is a good brother, good brothers also have their own asterisk. What does Li Shuang mean by saying this? Zhao Jixi now thinks about the good and bad in his mind for this. After looking at Zhao Jixi for a while, Li Shuang pretended to be normal and continued. After the Taoist priest saw me, he said that he saw that I had a connection with him, and he just happened to be short of some material possessions. So he took out the secret incense in my hand, which was this sandalwood, and said he wanted to exchange it with me. At this point, Li Shuang deliberately compared the things in his hand. Material possessions? What are they? Li Gua asked curiously. It's something yellow and white. In layman's terms, it's money. In a more fashionable way, it's manlin. Zhao Jixi explained casually, and then motioned Li Shuang to continue. He was very curious about this matter now. He wanted to see if Li Shuang was also making up a story like him, or if this was true. Just kidding. Is there really such a Taoist priest? So, Brother Shuang, did you exchange it with him now? Yes, I did. He let me smell the thing, and I made up my mind to exchange it with him. Who knew that after I exchanged it, I took it out and smelled it a few more times, and the effect was getting worse and worse. At that time, I thought I was cheated, and I was so angry that I wanted to smash the thing on the spot. Li Gua was listening very attentively. When he heard Li Shuang say that he wanted to smash the thing, he was immediately shocked. He looked very nervous and worried about this treasure. Zhao Jixi sneered, "This guy's too much. There is no need to be so nervous." How could he know that he was talking without any pain in his waist, because other people don't have the same space as him? How can they not be excited when they see this strange and good treasure? It's okay. It's okay. Later, I thought that I had spent so much money on it, it would be a shame to just smash it. So I thought about it and put it away. As a result, I was tired after a day's work and encountered this bad luck, so I was in a particularly bad mood. I felt uneasy when I came back to take a bath. Then I thought of this unexpectedly. I didn't even take a bath. I went out and picked it up and lit it, and then put it in the bathroom and lit it. I didn't expect to discover these incense sticks later, and they turned out to be treasures. This is really a wave of several things. Wow, this doesn't sound like a fabrication. Could it be true? Zhao Jixi thought secretly. Chapter 280 Baby Part 2. Li Shuang sighed, looking depressed. After knowing the value of this thing, I also wanted to go back and find the Taoist priest to buy some. But when I went there again, I couldn't find him anymore. I asked people around, and they said that the old Taoist priest had left here a long time ago, and I was afraid that it would be difficult to find him when the time comes. After asking around for a few days, I didn't expect that he really couldn't be found. I haven't seen him since then. At that time, I didn't give up the plan to buy some more, but after searching for several times, I couldn't see him anymore. Having said that, Li Shuang turned his head to look at Li Guazi and said to him sincerely, "Guazi, it's not that I'm stingy and want to hide it. I really can't find him." After hearing what he said, Li Gua didn't want to talk about it anymore. Although he was a little helpless and disappointed, his self-cultivation was still pretty good. "Brother, please don't say that. I'm too abrupt. Treasures are always obtained by those who are destined to get them. Brother Shuang, you have finally got your chance. I really said too much about this matter today. I hope you don't blame me." Li Shuang also said, "It's strange. We are still old friends, even if we don't talk about the previous generation. As for the two of us, I still treat you as a friend and a brother. What you said, how will I treat you in the future?" Li Gua was stunned for a moment. He didn't expect Li Shuang to treat him as a brother. He has no shortage of friends over the years, but there is really no one who can transition from friends to brothers. Now someone suddenly came and said this. He couldn't help but be moved. And this time, Li Shuang has returned a brother. If he didn't treat him, Li Gua, as his own, he would never have taken out the sandalwood. What's the matter with me now? Everyone will have a meal and go back to their own homes. Brother, Li Gua was suddenly speechless. My brother is thinking too much. I'll say nothing else. I was wrong. I apologize. Okay, we are brothers. It's just a matter of one sentence. As long as you still recognize me as your brother, we are still brothers. Don't say such strange words in the future. Li Shuang waved his hand and said to Li Gua. Zhao Jixi sat next to him and watched for a while. He felt that Li Shuang was doing things with a purpose. Seeing that he turned his eyes from time to time and made some hidden movements, he knew that Li Shuang must be planning to attack Li Gua. As for what he was planning, Zhao Jixi didn't want to know for the time being. He wouldn't ask about it for no reason. If Li Shuang felt that he could tell him about it, he would tell him. If he didn't tell him anything, Zhao Jixi would be a little disappointed, but he wouldn't say much. Zhao Jixi glanced at Li Shuang and immediately found that he was flirting with him. Zhao Jixi immediately had a plan in his mind. So he said, "I said you guys are getting more and more corny, and you're even talking about classical Chinese. Okay, the food is almost ready. Let's go eat something first. We are starving after sitting on the plane for such a long time. Zhao Jixi was talking at this time, and he changed the topic by the way. Look at what we are talking about. We even forgot to go eat. Now that Jixi said that, I'm a little hungry too. Li Gua also touched his stomach with a wry smile, gesturing how he felt hungry. After Li Shuan winked at Zhao Jixi, he saw that he quickly understood, and Li Gua just said the same thing. This was exactly what he wanted, so he laughed and said, let's go and eat first. Our auntie who cooks is pretty good at cooking Chinese food. Oh. Then I'll have to give it a try. Recently in the United States, my nannies are pretty good at cooking Western and Mexican food. But it always feels weird to cook authentic Chinese food. I've told them several times that they always like to add some special seasonings to the dishes. Plus, the seasonings in the United States are different from those in China, so it's impossible to cook authentic Chinese food. Zhao Jixi spoke like he was at a grievance meeting. The more he spoke, the more sad he felt, as if he couldn't live like this anymore. Tell me about my life. Hey, I can't even have a peaceful meal. Li Gua nodded in agreement after hearing what Zhao Jixi said. He had also traveled in the United States before, so he has a deep understanding of the dishes made by Chinese Americans in the United States. However, when Li Shuang saw that Zhao Jixi was getting more and more exaggerated, he patted Li Gua and signaled him not to worry about Zhao Jixi and let's go eat first. Don't listen to this kid's nonsense. He lives a life of a landlord in the United States, and now he is complaining to us. Let's ignore him. You are hungry, let's go eat something first. Li Shuang whispered to Li Gua beside him. Li Gua hesitated for a moment, with a slightly strange look on his face. After a pause, he whispered to Li Shuang, isn't this not good? He and Zhao Jixi have not known each other for a long time, and their familiarity was also introduced by Li Shuang. I have to say, Guazi, you are really loving sometimes. Let me tell you, I recently found a Japanese assistant. Although this guy can speak Chinese, he can't cook Chinese food at all. However, he does cook sashimi well. But that thing is not as delicious as the food in our great China. Zhao Jixi was talking tirelessly over there. Yeah. Li Gua also nodded and said, as a response to Zhao Jixi's words. Then he whispered to Li Shuang, brother Shuang, is Jixi like this usually? Like this? What? Li Shuang was stunned for a moment and didn't react, but soon thought of you said he is nagging now, right? Yeah. Li Gua nodded. It's okay, he doesn't talk a lot, but once he gets excited about preaching, he can't stop. Anyway, it's not much, just a few days every month. You'll be fine once you get used to it. Li Shuang thought for a while and said to Li Gua. Li Gua was a little confused. It's only a few days every month. What kind of metaphor is this? Do you think I don't know that women also have those days? Brother Shuang, can you stop being so gay? Did I mistakenly call these people bad friends? Let's talk about that in Jinnah. They say that people there can make curry. I still like to eat that stuff, but this woman can't make it. It's a rip-off. If it weren't for the fact that she's okay, I would have fired her. Hey. Zhao Jixi was still talking at this time. Okay then. Li Gua saw this and immediately agreed with Li Shuang's opinion, while Zhao Jixi wasn't paying attention. The two of them walked quietly to the dining table, sat down, and smiled at Zhao Jixi who was still talking. Zhao Jixi talked for a while and found that the two were secretly discussing something, but he didn't say it out loud. When the two ran away secretly, he quickly found out. This guy wants to laugh at me. Don't you know that my 5 senses are very sharp? Look, I won't give you a jump this time. He continued to talk and took advantage of the two people's inattention and left the original position in a flash. He ran to them secretly, hiding behind them, waiting to see their startled looks. In order to leave evidence, he even took out his mobile phone to take pictures or 2 cameras at the same time. When the time comes, Zhao Jixi couldn't help laughing in his heart. The two whispered to each other for a while and were about to see if Zhao Jixi had noticed it, but when they looked over, they found that Zhao Jixi was not there. The two were startled by each other and surprisingly thought in their hearts, where is the person? but both of them are people with good psychological quality, and this little thing can't scare them. So they were stunned for a while, and then looked at each other again, and looked back at the same time. Hey, where's the person? The two looked back, and found that the facts were completely different from what they thought. Zhao was not behind them. Suddenly, they felt strange, but when they turned around just now, I was scared to death. Zhao shouted loudly, and then looked at the two people with a smile. Chapter 281 A Different Purpose. The two men were startled, looking at Zhao with the look of seeing a ghost. When they heard this man say such shameless and scary words, they were immediately filled with absurd feelings. You scared me, Jess. You are a child, and you are playing such a childish game. Li Gua, Li Shuang's accomplice, also said quickly, yes, you scared me. That's not it. It was you who scared me. I was standing in front of you, and you suddenly turned around and looked at me with a strange face, so I was scared. Okay. Really, you are the villain who complained first. Zhao could still say innocently at this time. Zhao, can you be more shameless? Yes, he answered decisively. Li Gua was speechless. Was he talking about making friends carelessly? Is this the legendary retribution? His mind began to be confused again. After laughing and joking for a while, the few people sat down to eat first. After all, nothing is more important than eating. The old people always say that people are strong and food is strong, and they will be hungry if they don't eat. Although they have not experienced that kind of time, after seeing the food on the table and the conscious competition among them, the food suddenly tasted very delicious. Li Gua had to go back today because of something suddenly, so no one drank, and they ate together and chatted. The dishes on the table were also well cooked, with chicken, duck, fish, and meat. Zhao ate a few dishes, and the taste was okay, but due to the limited ingredients, the dishes made still made him feel average. But the nana's skills are still there. For example, the dish that Zhao and Li Shuang like to eat, Xiangkao wine and meat, is cooked very well. Eat more melon seeds. Today's dishes are good. Don't be polite. Just treat it as your own home. Li Gua also said after hearing this, Brother Shuang, I'm not polite. I've been eating very fast, and have eaten a lot. Oh, with your gentle way of eating, it won't take long for both of us to finish the food on the table. Li Gua looked at Zhao who was eating very fast, and then compared himself. He could only shake his head helplessly and quickly speed up the speed of eating food. The meal on the table was finished very quickly. Li Gua looked at the time. It would be too late if he didn't go back now. So he said a little embarrassedly that he might have to leave first. He was the only one sitting there who was from the capital. Li Shuang and Zhao were also guests. He grew up in the capital, and he also had the shortcomings of the capital people. That is, he was very face conscious. Now he left like this as the host. How could he feel a little bit of that? Li Shuang saw what he was thinking about, and quickly said to him, what are you thinking about? Go back and deal with something first. Why are you still dawdling here? Yes, Wazi, go and deal with something first. You'll treat us next time we get together. Zhao also said. After the two of them talked about it, Li Guazi felt much better, and now he also went down the stairs. When Li Shuang saw that he was about to leave, he quickly took out some of the sandalwood he had just taken, and found a good box to wrap it up. After sending Li Guazi to the door, he handed it to him. When Li Gua saw that it was sandalwood, he immediately postponed it and said, Brother Shuang, I can't accept this. I really can't. Before Li Gua finished speaking, Li Shuang said, okay, I didn't say it was for you. Why are you in such a hurry here? I just heard you say that your uncle is not in good spirits recently, and it is my duty as a junior to give him something to express his gratitude. Li Shuang saw that Li Gua wanted to say something, so he quickly stopped him with his hand and continued, don't say more. Our two families are old friends, and I have met your uncle several times. He also gave me a lot of things. Even if I don't need to use them as a token of gratitude, I still have to use them as a return gift. Brother Shuang, Li Gua wanted to say one more sentence. However, since Li Shuang wanted to do a favor, of course he had to cut the Gordian knot. Okay, if you still recognize me as your brother, just accept it, you big man. You have to talk so much nonsense. Yes, Wazi, you are being polite. Shuang is also a kind gift, and it is for the elderly. Just take it. Zhao Jixi also interrupted. After seeing the two people say this, Li Gua was also shaken, and he really wanted this thing. He also wanted to honor his parents, and he had personally experienced this secret incense called sandalwood, and the effect was beyond exaggeration. In this case, I will accept it shamelessly, but Li Gua was now single, and since he decided to take advantage of the situation, he would find a chance to repay the favor next time. Okay, don't say that, man, don't be so hesitant, Li Shuang said, and put his hand on Li Gua's shoulder, and walked towards the car with him. If you have something to do now, go and deal with it. After the two walked a few steps, and said a few words, Li Gua waved, and said goodbye to the two. Zhao Jixi and Li Shuang also waved, and then sent the people away. Zhao Jixi and Li Shuang looked at each other, and after returning home, Zhao Jixi said, who is the background of this bet? Aren't you afraid of losing money? Haha. Don't worry, you won't lose money. This person's family is not an ordinary family. Oh. Haha. I knew it. Li Shuang first looked around, and then said to him, let's go to the study. Zhao Jixi responded first, and then followed him to the study. The two sat down first. Zhao Jixi picked up the cigarette that Li Shuang put on the table and lit it, and then casually gave Li Shuang one. After the two took a puff, they began to talk. Aren't you working in a TV station in South Korea? Why do you have to do with the red children of the Celestial Empire? Zhao Jixi said to him first. Haha. You don't understand this. His family is very influential in the broadcasting bureau, and his family members are either in the government station or in the local station. They are also influential in the political situation. Oh. Li Shuang smiled first, and then continued, although I'm in South Korea, as long as I have connections in China, my voice will be more important in the board of directors of the station in the future. South Korea and China? China is a big market. As long as we can cooperate and communicate here, and now the Korean wave has a deeper and deeper influence on China, it will be very easy for me to gain benefits. Li Shuang said to Zhao Jixi. Then he took another puff of the cigarette and said, and in the future, if we want to hold any activities, or introduce films, these can all be operated. Oh, I see. If our great China leaks some oil and water, South Korea will be happy. It's strange to say that their family members are actually flocking to it. Zhao Jixi said with sudden enlightenment. Oh my god, it's still so lucrative. I can't explain this to you clearly. Anyway, this guy is still very useful. If you think he's okay, it's good to make friends with him. Keep in touch with him in the future. After all, more friends mean more ways. Li Shuang was a little speechless about what Zhao Jixi said, but he felt that he still had to remind him of some things when he was a childhood friend who had suddenly become rich. Okay, I know, I'm not that superficial and arrogant yet. Zhao Jixi knew what he meant, so he said a few words to reassure him. It's good that you know, then I won't say much. But it's rare to be serious, so I'll just say a few words. Isn't it a bit of a pity? Li Shuang said seriously at first, and then he started joking again. Looking at Zhao Jixi, he couldn't help but feel that this girl's face changed so quickly, and this person's aura was so different from what he showed just now. Compared with his acting skills, there is really a big gap. It seems that Shuang's extra years of eating his rice are not in vain. Li Shuang didn't urge Zhao Jixi to make some chicken soup or something. After all, Zhao Jixi came back from a long distance after he called. Why should he worry that he didn't have time to make some beauty chicken soup? So the two of them chatted about the recent situation for a while, and didn't say much else. Chapter 282. Although Zhao Jixi is quite energetic now, Li Shuang still thinks that he needs to have a good rest after sitting on the plane for more than 10 hours, and he doesn't care what he says. He just wants him to go back to the room to have a good rest, but he openly says that he wants to go out for a while and tells him not to run around so as not to get lost. Zhao Jixi feels ridiculous when he hears this. What happened to this guy today? Shuang, didn't you take medicine this morning? You didn't take medicine. I don't know how healthy you are. Okay, you go to rest quickly so that my mom won't come and you will have dark circles under your eyes. She thinks I'm exploiting you like this. You should have a good rest now. It was a surprise to see him like this, although what he said was a bit unreliable. But Zhao Jixi couldn't refuse. Okay, I got it. I'll go back and take a rest now. Really? Hey. The brat is also learning from Han Tan. Really? He can learn so fast in such a long time. Hey. Li Shuang murmured. After returning to the room arranged by Li Shuang, Zhao Jixi was not tired at all. He had actually adjusted to the time difference in the space when he took a shower just now. How could he be sleepy now? This Li Shuang is really looking for trouble. Zhao Jixi murmured and lay down on the bed. After rolling on the bed for a while, he felt like he wanted to rest, so he took out a pack of medicine from the space. When he opened the medicine pack, there were small capsules wrapped in gauze. This is made of special plant fibers in the space, which is a bit like gauze, but in fact, there is still a big difference in essence. The most important thing is that Zhao Jixi knows this thing inside and out, and it is a harmless product. Unlike other things, Zhao Jixi didn't know whether it was harmful or not. Moreover, if this thing was wrapped with medicinal materials and cooked together with the ingredients, it would be fine. This was much better than buying gauze and holding it to cook. The medicinal materials in the small medicine bag were all processed by the little goblins in the space. The old lady had already taught him how to process the medicinal materials. Zhao Jixi learned very quickly. After all, he had memorized so many books. He also remembered a little about the medicinal properties, processing methods, and things that needed to be paid attention to. If the old lady taught him, Zhao Jixi would learn much more easily, and the old lady was very satisfied with her teaching. However, although he had learned this job, it was sometimes too troublesome to process medicinal materials. It depends on the weather. When the weather is good, take out the processed and soaked medicinal materials and dry them in the sun. In some weather, some medicinal plants cannot be processed. Zhao Jixi was overwhelmed by these miscellaneous things. Fortunately, there were not too many medicinal materials when he was learning, so it was not troublesome for him to do it. But sometimes he thought it would be better to buy a few machines to do it. Although it is not as good as manual labor, who can blame the Americans for their high labor costs? Although Zhao Jixi is rich now, it does not mean that he is a fool. There is no need to use manual labor when there are cheaper ones. But fortunately, it is not too troublesome to make some for personal use now. Zhao Jixi's little idea was also hidden from the old lady. Later, he marked out a small area in the space to plant some medicinal herbs. This thing focuses on the effect of the space, which is definitely much better than outside. Even products such as vegetables have become better, let alone his medicinal herbs. Even the old lady's life-saving ginseng, Zhao Jixi also made it from the space. But he really dared not plant more of this thing. Most of the medicinal herbs with good effects absorbed the spiritual energy in the space and then patted their butts and there was no more. Even some medicinal plants that produce spiritual energy are not as many as those vegetables. There are also some precious medicinal plants, such as ginseng. Zhao Jixi planted several kinds of ginseng in it. Each of them is a big soul absorber, and they are also the ones who only eat and don't spit out. They don't care whether they are western ginseng or eastern ginseng. They are just soul absorbers, and the other medicinal herbs are also in this arrogant state. Zhao Jixi wanted to eat them all. Zhao Jixi actually calculated that this kind of medicinal plant can't be planted more. This thing is a pest in the space. If this thing is planted too much, the spiritual energy in the space will definitely become less. There is no need to talk about giving Zhao Jixi any vitality on the earth. The space will give them spiritual energy chains and affect them. If it affects his spiritual energy, it will affect the mother tree. The space is supported by the mother tree. How can the space be stable if the mother tree is unstable? Zhao Jixi can still distinguish between sesame and watermelon. Although it may be a bit exaggerated, this possibility cannot be ruled out. So Zhao Jixi chose to plant some plant medicinal herbs in the space. If there is no special need, he will not even speed up the time to ripen. He only lets these medicinal materials grow according to the ratio of space and reality. Although for some precious medicinal materials, if it is calculated in 100 years, the ratio of 10 times is not very much. But for those medicinal materials that take more than 10 years or a few years, or even a year and a few seasons, this time ratio is more than enough for Zhou to wait for them to mature. As long as the number of medicinal materials in the space is maintained at this level, there will be no big problem. As for the expansion in the future, the space must be expanded a lot. And the expansion of space obviously depends on the mother tree, so these two things are contradictory. The current situation is that the mother tree is the most useful, so of course he has to take care of the mother tree. Some of these medicinal materials have short seasonality. If they mature first, the goblins can collect them and deal with them, and then preserve them for Zhou to use in the future. They will not grow season by season like those vegetables and fruits. After all, if there are too many, and they are not sold or eaten, there is no use in keeping them. The space is so small that it is useless, even if it is used for seeding. Fortunately, Zhou thought of making preserved fruits, which can be regarded as a part of it. Some of them are used to make wine. After being buried underground in the space, it is aged and tastes really delicious. Zhou first picked up the small medicine bag and smelled it. Several medicinal materials are indeed in it. After the preparation is done, just stew it with the chicken. If you master the heat, you can basically make his chicken soup. However, chicken is also a key point. The best effect and the best taste are of course the chickens he raised in the space. The worst ones are the chickens that were raised in the space and then released. Of course, Zhou can't take these out now, so he can only buy some pheasants or wild chickens here. But if you can buy native chickens from farmers, they are also very good ingredients. Although that thing is worse than the chickens raised in the space, the chickens that have not eaten feed are still very delicious. Sufficient exercise makes the acid content in the muscles better than that of the chickens raised in the space. Now I have to buy a native chicken or a wild chicken. I believe there must be some for sale in the capital where there are many high-ranking officials and rich people, but the price is probably not cheap. The question is, where should I buy it? This is a big problem. Zhou couldn't help but have a headache when he thought of this. It is very convenient to take the chicken from the space, but I'm afraid that Li Shuang will eat one and ask where I bought it when he thinks it is delicious. I can't say that I bought it from an old farmer. Thinking of this, Zhou suddenly had an idea that seems to work. When the time comes, take out a few and say I've bought them all. I don't know where the old farmer is from. We're unfamiliar with the place and can't find him anymore. Tell him to find someone to wait there if he still wants them. Who knows, if we are lucky, we might actually run into one. Thinking of this, Zhou couldn't help but laugh secretly, as if he could see some poor guy waiting there in the future, but waiting for nothing. Puff. No one saw this scene, otherwise they would have said, Zhou, you should take medicine. Chapter 283 Buying Chicken. Zhou in the room continued to think, but Li Shuang outside had already gone out. After picking up Zhou, he called Chengnan. He said that he would invite her to dinner in the near future and drink chicken soup. Chengnan knew what he meant as soon as he heard it. Although her name sounds very manly, she is really not a female man. Her pursuit of beauty is also crazy. Of course, this refers to natural beauty. She has no love for surgery. The effect of those old mothers who drank a bowl of chicken soup was so good, which really made her very excited. Although she also knew that it might be because of their age that they had such a good effect. When she was at her prime age, the effect might be discounted. But even if she had half or even 1/3 of their skin, it would be fine. Now every time she sees their smooth skin, she is very envious and jealous. A group of old women are still so bright. How can she, a young woman, survive? Although the effect seems to have retreated recently, it is still much better than before. In addition, several women also insisted on taking care of themselves and exercising, and the effect was gradually consolidated. Compared with before, they were several years younger. I heard that the medicine used in the chicken soup is quite precious. Is this not appropriate for me? Although Chengnan wanted to, she had to be more reserved in front of Li Shuang. Otherwise, people would think that she went on a blind date with him, Li Shuang, just for a bowl of chicken soup. Although this is the fact, it cannot be said that it is not true. Will she tell everyone in the future, my fate with Li Shuang is, because I want to drink a bowl of chicken soup? That would make people laugh to death. Others go for luxury cars and mansions, and you go for chicken soup. Thinking of this terrible thing, Chengnan couldn't help but get goosebumps. Li Shuang didn't think much about it, and didn't want to think too much. He also knew a little bit that the two of them were destined to be together, and it was really because of this chicken soup. But he didn't care about the reason. Anyway, after several exchanges, he also found that this woman's character and personality met his requirements. With the right family background, he also liked her. It is simply one of his best choices. So he also said, "It's okay, he is my brother. My mother is his godmother. For the happiness of his godmother's son and his good brother, this sacrifice is nothing." Chengnan blushed when she heard it. Li Shuang's offensive is really endless. However, the two were originally blind dating, and they were heading for marriage. Both parties have now understood each other. Li Shuang is very satisfied with her, so he began to pursue her. Although she also thinks that this man is okay, but she really needs to observe him first, so she is not in a hurry and let him pursue her. With a slightly red face, she spit at Li Shuang. "Speak seriously, you start talking about this in broad daylight. Aren't you afraid of being laughed at? I'm in the company now, what if someone hears it?" She, Chengnan, is a famous tigress in the company. She actually had sex with someone. It would probably scare a lot of people to death if she told others. But at this time, she was in the tea shop, and there was absolutely no one around. Some people who wanted to come in also warned their colleagues that the tigress was inside, and they were scared that they would not dare to go in. "Isn't this the most serious thing? I'm telling you," Li Shuang continued. "I said I'll hang up and tell you." Hey, don't worry, it's not enough to tell," Li Shuang said quickly. Obviously, Zhao Jixi didn't know that Li Shuang had sold him at this time and was still planning where he would buy chickens. In the evening, Zhao Jixi said something to the nanny and went out by himself. Li Shuang's family now only has a small tree driven by the nanny. Although it is well maintained and doesn't look old, Zhao Jixi thinks it's really embarrassing to drive it out. After thinking about it, it's better to ride a bicycle. Those who ride bicycles in the capital these days may be rich and powerful officials or some second generation. If you think about it carefully, these people are the least short of time and can ride bicycles leisurely to work in the capital. At the end, I can tell my friends or subordinates that we are environmentally friendly. You should also learn from me. Don't you think that others may not have the time like you? Zhao Jixi looked around in Li Shuang's garage and found a bicycle. He used it for exercise. Li Shuang usually took good care of it, so it was still quite new when Zhao Jixi saw it. This is a British Beru brand bicycle. Without the legendary old Phoenix, I thought I might be able to show off by riding it, but unfortunately, he didn't have one at home. It's not easy to show off these days. Zhao Jixi sighed and rode out this Beru brand custom bicycle that was as expensive as a four-wheeled car. Although this bicycle is customized according to different needs of each person, Zhao Jixi feels good when riding it. Compared with ordinary bicycles, it is better than ordinary bicycles in terms of hand feel and foot feel. Zhao Jixi rode it out of the community. The security guards in this villa area are quite dedicated. When Zhao Jixi went out, he saw them standing very straight. Sure enough, this high-end place is different. Even the quality of the security guards is different. Think about some places where security guards stay in the security room when they are on duty. Really? Zhao Jixi wanted to say something just now, but then he remembered that they only get a salary of 1 or 2,000. As for working hard every day, it's not that good. Just find a job. Almost any job is better than this. If I have time to collect express for you and help you open imports and exports, it's worth the salary. What else can you ask for? Zhao Jixi shook his head and didn't think about it anymore. After leaving the community, Zhao Jixi followed the instructions of an old man on the road and rode to the nearest vegetable market. When he rode to the vegetable market, he remembered that he didn't seem to have brought the key and the bike couldn't be locked. Damn, Shuang's bike looks quite high-end. If it's left outside, it will definitely be stolen. Zhao Jixi said helplessly and looked around. There was really no place to store it here. thinking that it would not fit in the space in public. He could only carry it by himself. Fortunately, Zhou was strong, and the bag was actually very light. Zhou could carry it well with one hand, but as more and more people came, he felt it was inconvenient. "Oh, you young man, you are still carrying a bicycle to the vegetable market. Look, you have scratched the old woman." Zhou saw that it was not true, so he quickly put it down, turned around and apologized to her. I'm sorry. After a few kind words, the matter was finally over. Chickens for sale, big hens raised at home. They had definitely never eaten feed. Zhou suddenly heard someone asking for water on the way, and his eyes immediately looked over there. It was an old man, with a local cigarette in his mouth and a shoulder pole on his shoulder, with the chickens hanging upside down on both sides. Zhou was too lazy to look for them now. There were only these few, and he didn't care whether they were real local chickens. Buy it first, then throw it into the space, give it a time acceleration, ask the little goblins to feed it, and take it out after an hour or two. By then, the meat quality will probably be much better. Well, let's do it. I'm really looking for trouble, Zhou thought, and shouted in that direction. Old man, stop for a moment. I want to buy chickens. The old man also stopped when he heard it. Kid, do you want to buy my chickens? Yes. You said it was a native chicken and I wanted to buy it back. The chickens sold outside now are actually fed with feed. Have you never eaten these? Zhou went over and said. Don't worry, I raise these in my yard. I usually find some insects and vegetable seeds to eat. I feed them some leftovers every day, or pick some vegetable leaves for them to eat. The old man has a loud voice, and speaks in a very mature manner. Zhou doesn't look like a profiteer. Okay, I believe you. I'll buy all of them. Just give me a price. Zhou said straightforwardly. Chapter 286, Bought and the Unlucky Child. When the old man heard that a big customer had come, and the old man didn't have to continue shouting and selling, he immediately became happy. His face was as bright as a flower. Young man, you are so straightforward, then I won't say much to you. You will know whether my chicken is real or not after you buy it and eat it. The old man paused and said, when I came out, my granddaughter calculated the cost of raising a real farm chicken for a year, based on 2 taels of grain feed per day. 1 catty of grain is 1 yuan and 50 cents. 365 *0.2 *1.5 equals 109.5 yuan. You also need to take care of it and manage it, and there is also the transportation and logistics cost. So it must be at least 120 yuan. Zhou felt a little absurd. Following an old man to say this, he now felt that this guy was a bit like a profiteer. And when he was in his hometown, a pheasant seemed to be only 50 or 60 yuan per catty. Are the farmers so powerful now? Young man, don't think it's too expensive. I heard that the things sold in the city are more expensive than those in our country, so I listened to my granddaughter and brought them to the city to sell. Although the number one calculated is a bit. The old man saw Zhou's doubtful look and began to explain to him. Zhou didn't care at this time. The taste of this vegetable market was not good. He didn't want to stay any longer. It was expensive. Even if it was a scam, it was okay because he was an old man. So he immediately interrupted the old man's words. He said to him, okay, just according to the price you said, you weigh these 4 chickens and I will take them away immediately. Ah. The old man blurted out in surprise. Obviously, the reality was a little different from what he thought. Sure enough, the people in Chengliarik. Niu makes sense. Should I go to that English website more often in the future? The old man thought secretly in his heart. Uncle, please weigh them quickly. I'm really busy and in a hurry. Zhou was a little impatient and urged, okay, I'll weigh them for you right away. As he said that, he started to move Zhou to weigh them. He took down the chickens one by one and showed them to Zhou after weighing them. Zhou also went to take a look. The old man used a scale that looked like a weight. There were several white spots on the support rod. Zhou actually took a look and understood it. After all, when weighing medicine, a smaller version of this kind was used, although electronic scales are now used. but the old lady still taught him how to use this scale first, and he didn't think it was difficult, so he learned it by the way. After weighing, Zhao Jixi paid a full 2,000 yuan, which was considered to be the collection of these chickens. Although this is already a small amount of money for him now, but thinking about it, he really didn't want to spend money to buy himself such expensive chickens in his previous life. If I want to buy, I just spend a little money to buy 1 or 2 live chickens, or the kind of ripened broiler chickens that only cost a dozen yuan. Sometimes I buy the cheap frozen chickens in the supermarket. I only have the chance to eat the local chickens once or twice when I go back to my hometown. But there are many relatives at home, and every time I go back, I don't really eat much from a chicken. Not to mention a few cousins. There are many children among these people. You can't fight with the children for chicken legs and wings at this time. It's good to eat some breast meat and drink some soup. So Zhao Jixi is also resentful. When paying, Zhao Jixi touched his pocket and took out US dollars. Fortunately, he remembered that there were still Xianchao coins in the space. He pretended to search his pocket again and grabbed a sum of exactly 10,000 yuan and counted more than 2,000 from it to the old man. The old man excitedly paid the money, wet his hands with saliva, and began to count. While counting, he whispered, "It's better to pick it up and sell it in Qingli. You can sell it at this price in the village, but it's a bit troublesome to go out, and you have to shout when you sell it." The old man continued to speak intermittently, and after a while he counted the money. Zhao Jixi also took the chicken formally at this time, first holding it with one hand. Compared with this chicken, it seems to be a real native chicken. The end of the noise is really enough. Just when Zhao Jixi was holding it, it was making a lot of noise. Zhao Jixi shook it quickly a few times, which stopped this evil trend. So Zhao Jixi, carrying the chicken in one hand and the cart in the other, walked away. He wanted to go to a more spacious place and put the chicken on the front handle. The old man watched Zhao Jixi walk away, but he always felt that something was wrong. He picked up the pole and thought about it, but still had no idea. I remembered to collect the money. What did I forget? Haha. I have to remember to give Niu a cake when I go back, but where should I buy it? I have to ask. The old man smiled happily. Although his face was full of wrinkles, the kindness and tenderness in his expression could not be hidden. This young man looks a lot like Niu's father. Zhao Jixi finally walked out of the crowd and felt much more relaxed. Looking at his current state, there is a chicken in his left hand and a duck in his right hand. Not a car in his right hand. Although it looks much better than the devil, the state is not much better. Looking back at the crowd behind him, these aunts are really fighters. They have to buy vegetables every day. Putting the chicken on the handlebars, Zhao Jixi rode back along the way he came. On the way back, it must be said that his rate of turning back is quite high. From time to time, old ladies, young wives, children, white-collar girls, and cold and beautiful urban women all looked back at him. Zhao Jixi blushed a lot. Although he felt that he was quite pretentious, he was not thick-skinned enough. "Ah, Mom, those chickens are so pitiful. Look how cruel that uncle is. He hung them all on the bicycle." A child pointed at Zhao Jixi's bicycle and said loudly to his mother. The fresh and pleasant voice obviously attracted many people's attention, so the people around also looked at Zhao Jixi. The child's mother was a little embarrassed when she saw Zhao Jixi's gaze. She reached out to pull the child's hand back, but the stubborn child was like a member of our party, absolutely not afraid of power. His left hand was pulled back, and his right hand was stretched out. Oh my god, this unlucky kid. Zhao Jixi looked at those eyes and cursed in his heart. What are these people looking at, as if they have never seen a handsome guy? Then he could only ride forward with a thick skin, but there were obviously 1 or 2 weirdos. A girl kept staring at him, and Zhao Jixi couldn't help but say what was in his mind. "Hey, girl, have you never seen a handsome guy? You're almost hitting a tree." The girl stopped immediately after hearing this. There was only one step to the tree in front of her. Then she smiled boldly at Zhao Jixi. I have seen handsome guys, but I have never seen a handsome guy riding a bike with a cock hanging on it. How about it, handsome brother? Come down and let me see more." Zhao Jixi's face was embarrassed when he heard this. This guy's really a bit embarrassed. Brother has something else to do and wants to see it. If you have the guts, just follow me, Zhao Jixi said and rode faster. Now he wanted to leave first, and he didn't even have the mood to tease the little sister. Okay, handsome brother, wait for me, the beautiful young girl responded immediately. Then she ran forward a few steps and saw a boy playing skateboard. She acted cute and went over to say a few words to him. She borrowed the skateboard from the boy, then stood on it very skillfully and slid forward quickly with her back foot. Hey, handsome brother, if I catch up with you, will you be my boyfriend? The little girl, wearing a white and blue Nike sports suit and a baseball cap on her head, shouted to Zhao Jixi, who was riding on the bicycle lane on the sidewalk next to Zhao Jixi. Oh my god, this girl is so hot now. Zhao Jixi was startled, but he didn't ride too fast. Although she is a little kid, it is still my encounter. After thinking about it for a while, Zhao Jixi said to her, little girl whose hair hasn't even grown out yet, you still want a boyfriend? He turned around and said with a smile on his face. Chapter 285, Killing Chicken. Although the little girl was bold, her face was red all the way to her ears. But she didn't say anything, like you are a hooligan, but she was even more interested when she saw Zhao Jixi. She shouted to Zhao Jixi again, brother, don't you men like hairless girls? Oh my god, what kind of girl is this? She is too hot, I can't stand it. Zhao Jixi saw that they were about to reach the villa area, so he quickly sped up and rode forward. The little girl's skateboard obviously couldn't keep up. She could only look at Zhao Jixi's back and hum bitterly, you have such a cute, youthful and beautiful girl as your girlfriend. Why are you running away? The girl shouted from behind, but her eyes were full of teasing, and she couldn't stop Zhao Jixi from going away. The security guard at the door already knew Zhao Jixi, so this time he didn't stop him from going in. The environment of this villa community is very good, and it can be seen that the developer was very serious when building it. Zhao Jixi could occasionally see some old people playing with children on the grass outside the villas in the community. This life may also be what my parents want. Zhao Jixi looked at the happy smiles of the old people, but he also thought of his old parents. In his previous life, he didn't think about finding a wife to marry, so the old people could only go to their grandchildren to promote some grandfather-grandson love. Zhao Jixi couldn't help feeling guilty, but do you want me to find someone to marry now? This is too unreliable. I'm a diamond bachelor, a single rich man, and there are not too many women with these titles who are willing to pay for me. But if this marriage is tied, then if you go out to play, you will be called a playboy, a heartless person, etc. If you have a child, how will you educate him in the future? And if there is a divorce and property division, won't it be a loss? Zhao Jixi might be here now, and some things are turning around in his mind. Sir, you are back. The car was parked in the garage, and the sound of opening the door also startled the two nannies. Although I was a little surprised to see Zhao Jixi's current situation, I didn't say much. Well, Aunt Chen, you guys take these chickens to the kitchen first. I'll go back to the room to get some herbs. As for the chickens, I'll go over later. Zhao Jixi said as he handed the tied chickens to the nanny who came over. Okay, sir. Zhao Jixi went to the room and took out the medicine bag inside. Then he went to the kitchen, where the nannies had already locked up the chickens. Zhao Jixi caught one himself and said, Aunt Qiu, get a basin and get some hot water. Then he turned to Aunt Chen and said, Aunt Chen, give me your knife and a bowl. Then Zhao Jixi began to fold the wings of the hen together, as if he was ready to kill a chicken. Zhao Jixi had seen his father kill chickens when he was a child, and then he killed his first chicken when he was in junior high school. But he never killed a chicken again later. Either his father would kill it at home, or his brothers-in-law would kill it. After a few years, he didn't have to kill the chickens himself when he bought them. It was all one-stop service. After buying the chicken, go to the slaughter station and let the people there help slaughter it. But Zhao Jixi felt that they were a bit cruel when he saw how they slaughtered the chicken. First, they cut off the chicken claw so that you can identify it later, then cut the neck, and then put it in a bucket to let it jump until the blood is drained and it stops jumping. Then take it out and put it in the machine to pluck the hair. Finally, after draining it, you can take it back. His skills are simple at this time. He took Aunt Chen's bowl and put it on the ground and plucked a piece of hair from the chicken's neck. His left hand also pinched the chicken's head and wings to prevent it from shaking randomly. "Sir, I sharpened your knife just now." Aunt Chen saw that Zhao Jix's movements were agile and smooth. It didn't seem like he was pretending. He really knew how to kill chickens. It seems that not all people in Chengli can't kill chickens. She has also worked for several families, but these rich people, young and old, rarely know how to do this, which is completely different from the men and children in her hometown. "Okay, thank you Aunt Chen." Zhao Jixi thanked him and took the knife. He quickly cut the chicken's neck, and at the moment the blood spurted out, he aimed the direction of the blood spurting out, and the blood immediately flowed into the bowl that had been prepared just now. Beautiful. The two nannies couldn't help but secretly praise his technique. Seeing the amazed looks of the two nannies, Zhao Jixi couldn't help but think a little proudly. "I didn't expect that. I haven't killed chickens for more than 10 years, and my technique is getting better and better. If I were in some urban supernatural novel, I might become a top killer." He didn't think about the fact that killing chickens is the same as killing people, right? "Wow, Jixi, your skills are beautiful." Li Shuang, who had returned at some point, was standing outside the kitchen door. Seeing Zhao Jixi killing the chicken and bleeding it, he couldn't help but applaud. Zhao Jixi smiled at the corner of his mouth, pretending to be cold. "I won't agree to Li Shuang, and I also made a knife flower with my right hand." Swish, swish, swish. "Your brother is very handsome and cool." Cheng Nan came over at some point and followed Li Shuang. But after seeing the chicken being killed, although she was also a tomboy, a beautiful tomboy, but she still couldn't bear to watch this cruel job before eating. Although she would eat it later, and it would be delicious, she would want to kill a few more. "That's right, don't you see that he has a handsome brother like me? It's understandable that he is a little handsome," Li Shuang said with a proud face. But why did it feel so shameless to say this? But when he said this, Cheng Nan laughed, and Zhao Jixi's face was full of black lines. Even the two nannies next to him did the same, but they were holding back their smiles. According to the degree, they would probably get internal injuries. "Am I not handsome? My buddy is indeed good looking, just a little worse than Zhao Jixi." "Okay," Li Shuang said innocently. Zhao Jixi didn't pay any attention to him at this time, and handed the chicken in his hand that had been bled to the nanny Aunt Chen. "I'll trouble you with the rest, Aunt Chen." "Okay, sir." He walked to the basin, washed his hands, wiped them with a cloth, and walked towards them. Zhao Jixi said, "This is my sister-in-law. It's an honor to meet you for the first time." He was about to give her a hug. Li Shuang's eyes lit up when he heard it, and his eyes even gestured to Zhao Jixi, and he gave him a thumbs up. "Well done." But Zhao Jixi's follow-up, "Oh, let's skip the rest. We'll just follow the etiquette of the Celestial Empire," Li Shuang said. His behavior made both of them feel a little funny. Listening to Zhao Jixi's words, Cheng Nan was not a little girl, and she was not panicked by his words. Instead, she looked at him and said, "It's still uncertain. We have to see how he performs. I won't marry someone I don't know so easily." Then she said to Li Shuang, "Shuang, do you think so?" "Of course I want to say no. It's better to just get married like the older generation of Anshai and Cheo. Feelings can be cultivated, right?" Unfortunately, this was just a thought. Now, he pretended to be sincere and nodded and said, "That's right, that's what I think. Marriage is not only a matter of two people, but also a matter of two families. It's better for everyone to know more." Looking at these two people, Zhao Jixi felt that this was just asking for trouble. Could it be that there was also a special pleasure, and then the desire to conquer was generated, and finally it became the so-called love? Cheng Nan didn't care about Li Shuang's entanglement, and said to Zhao Jixi, "Hello, my name is Cheng Nan. Nice to meet you. I know you, Zhao Jixi from Women's Friend." Zhao Jixi simply paused for her, and then he counterattacked, "Women's Friend? This woman is really not that kind of good girl." But it is obvious that his thick skin is not exaggerated. "Haha. It seems that I'm quite famous. Nice to meet you." At this time, Li Shuang felt a little sad. It seemed that he was forgotten. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 286. Let's all come home and eat. Several people walked out of the kitchen to the living room and chatted for a while. Zhou was going to wait for the nanas to clean up before going in to make the medicinal chicken soup. But now he asked Li Shuang, did the godmother come over today? I haven't called her since I came back. Well, I told her that you were here and she will definitely come over in the evening. Really, my biological son is not as good as your godson, which is really discouraging. Li Shuang said. Chengnan heard the conversation between the two people nearby and knew that these two people, or this is a family. She was really a little envious of the feelings of their family. In the kitchen, Zhou took the nanas in his hands and cleaned up the offal, internal organs, and the hen. Slowly put it on the table and then took out the medicine bag, soaked it in the soup, and stuffed it into the chicken's stomach. Then he sealed the hen and put it in the soup, and then put the soaked glutinous rice, jujube, garlic, and astragalus in it. Finally, he added a few eggs that he liked to eat, but before putting them in, he carefully cracked a few cracks on the outside so that it could absorb some of the essence when put into the soup. Your brother is not a chef. He is so familiar with the process. It is really amazing. Chengnan, who was looking over from time to time, said to Li Shuang. This kid used to be lazy. I didn't expect him to change so much. But he is really not a chef. If he wants to be a chef, it would be a waste of talent. During the discussion between the two, Zhou had already completed the previous steps. Now he put the big casserole on it and then turned on the natural gas. Oh my god, it's finally solved. Zhou stretched his waist and said after washing his hands. Then he told the nanas to watch the fire, and he went out first. When he came out, his cell phone rang. They got their HN the teeth of Klmne. I'm a killing machine arm to the teeth. What northeast et the eld goes green, let your blood splatter. Best believe, MN zone to be, from mine to myinged. Don't doubt, this is my territory, my yin and yang worlds, my HNG river basin. Put GRNUETOM, when you rush over I smile triumphantly. Uzlwan, moan of KNN because victory belongs to me. I'm a first class killer, and what I will bring to you will be death. To the play you're about to be, not the river of blood unknown on my feet. The earth is under my feet. You will become another rushing river of blood. This is a passionate song, warrior song, which Zhou also heard suddenly in the United States, and felt good about, so he used it as a ringtone. He took a look, and found it was an unfamiliar number. After thinking about it, he picked it up. Hello. Hello, I'm Lee Hyori. These words were spoken in Korean. Oh. Zhou was startled, and then quickly said, hello, sister. I didn't expect you to call me suddenly. Haha, really, I rarely use this thing, and I'm really grateful for what happened today. So can I treat you to a meal to express my gratitude? For some reason, when Lee Hyori said this, she suddenly felt her cheeks getting a little hot. This. Zhou was immediately embarrassed. He still had to eat here tonight. Although she was as beautiful as a jade, she was obviously not as important as the people here. Lee Hyori was also startled. What does this mean? Is he going to refuse? The more she thought about it, the paler her face suddenly became, but she began to force herself to calm down. In fact, at this moment, her mind was full of some chat ideas. Yes, as a rich man, how could he have time to care about an artist? You are really self-indulgent. You thought that he would keep this little thing in mind? Even if it was, maybe he was just being polite at the time. Do you really think that you have become friends after chatting for a few words? Do you think that, just because he called you Auni a few times, you are really his sister? Lee Hyori, you are really something. Aren't you a strong and independent woman? Why would you want to contact such a rich kid more often? Aren't you hurt enough? Her mind was in a mess, but she still wanted to cover up the embarrassment and discomfort in her heart, and said to Jay Chow with a trembling voice, why, Jess, don't you have time? Then let's make an appointment another day. It seems that he promised her today, and it seems a bit bad to refuse now. But thinking about the words at home, suddenly his mind lit up, and he thought of an idea that had the best of both worlds. So he said, "I'm sorry." Hearing Jay Chou's first words, Lee Hyo-ri's heart sank for a moment, but she also thought more open-mindedly now. After all, he was just a stranger. It's just a little money, why do you think so much? But it's obviously impossible to say that she doesn't care, but then it fluctuates again. "I'm sorry, Annie, I may not be able to go out tonight, because I just arrived in the capital of China today. So I cooked for my godmother myself. I'm so sorry, I forgot what I promised you before." "Oh, no, it's okay, I'll hang up first, I won't bother you now, Jay Chou." When Lee Hyo-ri was about to say the last honorific X, she heard him say quickly, No, Annie, I want to say, since it's my fault, can I invite you to my place now? I will cook for you myself tonight. I hope you can feel my sincerity." Jay Chou said sincerely. Lee Hyo-ri didn't expect it to turn out like this in the end. It seemed that what she had just said was just some imaginary chat. It was really a bit too funny. Was it because she was too concerned about gains and losses? But at this moment, he couldn't help laughing again. Haha. Then it seemed as if he couldn't stop laughing. Jay Chou was really a little confused by her laughter. Was what he said funny? Why didn't I notice it? Sister? What's wrong with you? Suddenly, Lee Hyo-ri responded and said, "Oh, that, just now." Suddenly Lee Hyo-ri rolled her eyes and thought for a while, and then she thought of it with a ding sound. "Just now suddenly a friend's cat got into my arms. It was so itchy, so I couldn't help it. I'm so sorry, I'm so rude. Oh, I thought something was wrong. I'm glad you're okay. But Jessie, if I go over there." Zhao Jixi quickly said, "It's okay, sister, there are only a few people here, and you know one of them, and one of the other two can speak Korean, so 4 out of 5 people here can speak Korean." Lee Hyo-ri was a little moved, but because women should be more reserved, she couldn't agree to it right away. This would test Zhao Jixi, but she didn't know he would say that. If she didn't say it well, she might not be able to go, even if she wanted to. "It's really okay, sister. My godmother also likes to chat with people. She has been in China for a while now and wants to know about the latest situation in Korea. You can come over and chat with me, right? Besides, it was my fault today. If you don't come, it means you don't want to forgive me." Please sister, do you want me to feel guilty all the time? Lee Hyo-ri was silent for a moment, then said, "Okay, then I'll go over." "That's fine. Sister, I'll send you the address. You ask the driver to come over. Just tell me your license plate number, so I can tell the security guard, so you can come in directly later." "Well, send it over. The license plate number is XXXX. After the two chatted casually for a few more sentences, Zhao Jixi hung up the phone and prepared to send the address, but then he suddenly remembered that he didn't seem to know where this was. After thinking about it, he shouted to the sofa, "Li Shuang, what is your home address?" "What for?" Li Shuang said with a puzzled look. Chapter 287. Speaking of, the conversation in the living room continued. Zhao Jixi said to the two people, "Someone invited me to dinner. I'm not free now, but I have already promised them. It is not my style to stand someone up. I thought that, since everyone is going to eat, I will invite them to eat together. Standing me up is your style. You are a woman, so you can't bear to stand me up," Li Shuang said. Zhao Jixi paused for a moment and said with a smile, "Although it is true, please don't say it out loud. It hurts our brotherly feelings. The truth is." "Ah, you little brat." Li Shuang shouted angrily and was about to pick up something and throw it at him. He looked around and found that these things seemed to be his own. He looked down and saw that they were slippers. He reached out to take them down and wanted to give him a flying shoe, but Cheng Nan next to him couldn't stand it anymore, so he came out and said, "Okay, stop making a fuss and tell Jixi the address quickly." She looked directly at Li Shuang and said. Li Shuang immediately calmed down. "This kid is really something. He is the one who teased me." "Me?" Zhao Jixi pointed at his nose and said ridiculously, "Who did he tease just now?" Okay, you are so old, and you still like to make trouble. As soon as Cheng Nan said this, Li Shuang said, if you don't like it, I won't make trouble. Really, is it necessary to be so disgusting? Zhao Jixi was speechless to the two of them. Okay, here, remember. You are lucky, brother will not bother with you today. Li Shuang said. The fragrance in the kitchen was floating, but unfortunately no one could smell it. Because the range hood was turned on, everyone suddenly felt cold. It seems a bit cold. The nannies were full of boredom. However, the nannies in the kitchen were drooling over the fragrance. The soup cooked by Mr. Zhao is really delicious. It tastes so tempting. Yeah, you don't know that I'm almost drooling. Aunt Qiu also said. Unconsciously, a lot of time has passed, and the doorbell at home suddenly rang. Li Shuang quickly stood up and said, maybe my mother is back. Then why are you still standing there? Hurry up and open the door. Zhao Jixi said, and he also stood up and walked over there. The nanny inside also heard the sound and was about to come out to open the door, but Li Shuang waved his hand, indicating that he would do it himself and let them go to do other things. After the door opened, it was indeed Li Shuang's mother who came. Zhao Jixi walked over and gave her a hug. Oh, godmother missed you so much. You little boy, it's only been a few days, said the godmother. Oh, Zhao Jixi touched his head. Godmother, you seem to be much younger recently. Look at your good complexion. Are you happy that Shuang will be able to get married soon? Li Shuang quickly patted Zhao Jixi. His expression was a little nervous, and his face was a little red. You kid just said it. Why do you involve me? Really? Mom, ignore him. Come in first. This kid said that he would cook by himself today. He also said shamelessly that we are blessed today. You come and comment on it. After saying that, he took his mother and walked in. Oh, Jixi is cooking. Then I must try it. After hearing the voice, Cheng Nan also hurriedly got up, quickly quickened his pace and walked over. Auntie, hello. I'm really sorry to bother you today. Oh, Zhao Cheng, you are here too. We are all family. There is no need to disturb us. Just have a simple meal together when you come. The godmother was also happy to see her and said to Cheng Nan. Cheng Nan's face turned red when he heard it. The proud head actually lowered at this time. Oh my god, this is amazing. Zhao Jixi couldn't help but sigh when he heard this. It's true that old ginger is still spicy. It is said that having an old man in the family is like having a bag, and this is indeed true. When the old lady said this, she set the tone for the two of them. Long live mom. Li Shuang was very excited. Then the godmother took her a few steps, sat down, and said, my godson is cooking today. You can try it later. If it doesn't taste good, just tell me, and auntie will make it for you later. Godmother, I haven't eaten yet, and you're looking down on me. It's really not awesome. What, awesome or not? Godmother asked. Then, seeing that the people had returned, and other dishes could be cooked, Zhao Jixi went to the kitchen. He took out the other dishes, picked up the kitchen knife, and made some cuts with it. Be careful, kid, don't play with the knife. Cut the vegetables seriously. The godmother who was supervising immediately taught him a lesson. Zhao Jixi was about to say something, but when he thought that this person didn't seem to be Li Shuang, he quickly nodded and said, oh, no, I'll cut it right away. I'll cut it right away. Immediately, the sound of duo was heard on the chopping board on the table. Zhao Jixi cut the vegetable slices into even portions in a very stylish manner. Good boy, you really impress me. The godmother asked with emotion. Duo. The voice was still there, and Zhao Jixi kept saying, that's right. I've been thinking about opening some restaurants in the United States recently, and I'm ready to start the project now. Oh, Jess, are you planning to open a Western restaurant? Li Shuang asked. Well, I have this plan. Our farm now has more than 10,000 cattle, and we will continue to produce in the future. In this way, there will be a stable production of beef and mutton in the future, and the meat is of good quality, not to mention the taste. In addition, I have hundreds of Wagyu beef, so it's easy to operate a high-end restaurant. Zhao Jixi said. 10,000 cattle and sheep, and hundreds of Wagyu beef. You are really a local rich man. Li Shuang said excitedly. Cheng Nan, who was listening nearby, also smacked his lips. The Wagyu beef alone is worth tens of millions. In addition to the cattle and sheep he mentioned, you can't tell that this young man is so rich. The godmother didn't make a fuss. It's a blessing for her children to have money. She was happy for him in her heart, and Zhao had told her about some of the situation before. Oh. It seems that you are very confident in your cooking skills, Jess. No, I won't do it myself, and I'm not planning to open a high-end restaurant. I plan to open a steamed buns shop. What? You are a billionaire, and you want to open a steamed buns shop? What are you doing? Li Shuang said ridiculously. No, I plan to open a chain store, or I don't have the time to open only one. I have a very good steamed bun recipe, and Americans think the taste is not bad, so I want to make steamed buns with organic ingredients. Then make some flavors that immigrants from various countries like, and enrich the variety. As for high-end Chinese and Western restaurants, I also plan to open one or two to try. Zhao Jixi expressed his recent thoughts, which he had, after eating the steamed buns made from space ingredients. Needless to say, the steamed buns tasted delicious. And what Zhao Jixi wanted to make, of course, could not be made according to that standard. Meat cannot be used from the space and the farm for the time being, but the ingredients can be used as a reference, as well as the most important water and sauce. At that time, just experiment to see how it tastes. It doesn't matter how much it tastes. As long as it tastes half as much as Zhao Jixi eats, it will be easy to attract customers. Think everything over before you do it. The so-called careful planning before action is the most reliable. You are not a child anymore. I believe you can do it. The godmother didn't say much, and just said to him lightly, you are really a local rich man. You do whatever you think of. A few days ago, he told me that he wanted to make a game, and now he is making steamed buns. Your span is really fast, Li Shuang said. Zhao Jixi was about to say something when his cell phone rang, but his hands were still busy. Shuang, don't just stand there, come and help. Smelly boy, it's just cooking, I have to serve you. Li Shuang came over and murmured, but his hand helped him take out the cell phone. Oh, it's a beautiful girl, that Li Haiori. You won't tell me that you are dating her. With a teasing look on his face, he wanted to rub flour on Zhao Jixi when he looked at him. Hanny, haha say, unenai, you are here? Chapter 288 Gourmet and Medicinal Food. In the car outside the door, Li Haiori waved to her assistant to go back first, and she would call her later if needed. Then after hearing what Zhao Jixi said, she also responded, well, we are almost at the door. Li Haiori said a little nervously. Okay, then I will go out to pick you up now. Please wait a moment. After Zhao Jixi said that, he went to wash his hands first, and as for our Shuang brother, he stayed to help knead the dough. Stinky boy. I need. What are you talking about? Stinky boy, kneaded well, you are too hard. Really, I should have taught you before. Hey. Godmother said to Li Shuang, learn more from Jess. Look at how motivated he is. Really? Here I'm again. I'm not making progress, and I'm not worse than him. Chengnan followed behind and saw it, and his eyes were smiling like a crescent moon. She likes the atmosphere of this family very much. It is really different from her previous home, which always had a bit of coldness. Although they are both from wealthy families, why is there such a big gap? Thinking of this, she couldn't help but feel a little sad. Zhao Jixi opened the door and came out. He looked up and immediately saw Li Haiori, who was full of aura. He waved and shouted, Annie, this way. Then he walked in her direction. Li Haiori was wearing a baseball cap at this time, with sunglasses on her nose and a mask on her mouth. She was wearing a black jumpsuit and a necklace around her neck. The material should be crystal, but it was still a bit cold outside, so she put on a coat and a small leather bag with gold edges in her hand, plus her high heels and bright red toenails. The sexy aura almost surrounded Zhao Jixi, who was really very curvy. Zhao Jixi's heart was also very moved when he saw it. This is Li Haiori. He liked her very much in his previous life. He didn't expect to deal with her in this life. It seems that things in this world are really unpredictable. Ah, Jess. Li Haiori said and walked over. Let's go in first. It's a little cold outside. You don't wear more clothes today, Jay Chao said with concern. Well, it's a little bit. but most of the time I'm used to it. You have to endure spring, summer, autumn and winter as an artist. Lee Hyori nodded and then said a little helplessly. The two walked in and saw that the godmother and Chengnan had come out. Only Li Shuang was still kneading the dough inside, and the nannies, of course, were helping by the guys who were arranging dinner in the evening. Jay Chou quickly introduced Li Hyori to the godmother and Chengnan, but he still took good care of Li Hyori when he spoke. When he spoke to the godmother, Jay Chou spoke in Korean, and when he spoke to Chengnan, he translated between Chinese and Korean. After a few exchanges, the few people knew each other. The godmother invited Li Hyori to go over and have some snacks and a cup of tea. But when she left, she first looked at Jay Chou obscurely. He was a little helpless and shook his head desperately, indicating that there was absolutely no such relationship. However, Chengnan looked at him with amusement. This kid. You guys just sit here for a while. I'll go to the kitchen first. I'll treat you to a big meal later. Zhao Jixi said first, and then ran to the kitchen, replacing Li Shuang who had been busy in the kitchen for a while, but had not done anything. Oh, Li Hyori, you're here. I was in the kitchen just now. I'm so sorry for neglecting you. Li Shuang said to Li Hyori who was sitting on the sofa. No, Auntie and Jess are very enthusiastic. How could they neglect you? Li Hyori said quickly. Time passed by minute, and in a blink of an eye, everyone sat at the dining table. The nannies brought out the dishes made by Zhao Jixi one by one. At the beginning, Zhao Jixi actually planned to make chicken soup, but later he thought of making one thing, so why not make a few more, just as if he was cooking for himself today. But thinking that he didn't seem to buy any vegetables. Fortunately the nannies were very helpful, and Li Shuang also explained today that there were guests coming, so the nannies bought some more vegetables, which was just right for Zhao Jixi to do whatever he wanted. It was really a good general meeting a good talent, and a good dish meeting Jixi. At this time, the nannies had already served a few dishes on the table. They had already placed fish-flavored pork shreds, braised pig's trotters, braised pork, sweet and sour pork, stir-fried beef tripe, steamed fish, stir-fried green vegetables, scrambled eggs with chives, and more than 10 dishes, all of which were fragrant. Although these dishes were ordinary, the ingredients were all Zhao Jixi's, so they were very flavorful compared to ordinary dishes. Li Shuang, who had already sat down, couldn't stop swallowing his saliva. At this time, he felt that he couldn't control his hands a little bit. He really wanted to eat a little first. The taste was really amazing. Now he was thinking in his mind, it's fragrant, it's really too fragrant. It was just like when I was a kid and asked my mother for ice and candy and then went to a popcorn frying uncle who looked like Uncle Zhao Ben's Han, waiting for him to get that strange thing. I really wanted him to be quicker. Plus there was the aroma of fried popcorn next to me, which made me very greedy. The same was true for Li Hyori. She hadn't eaten anything after today's announcement, and when she went to the advertiser's place, it seemed like a small cocktail party. Although there was some food at the venue, there were reporters there. Although she was carefree when filming variety shows, but now that she was attending this kind of occasion representing the advertiser's face, she still had to play the role of a vase well. She couldn't do anything out of the ordinary on the scene, otherwise she would lose face and be criticized by the advertiser, so she just drank a few sips of champagne. I really want to eat. Li Hyori's eyes were fixed on the braised pork and sweet and sour pork. She looked up and down and licked her tongue from time to time. Her stomach even rumbled a few times. It was a bit awkward at first, but it didn't happen later because everyone was almost the same. But the hero of this table of dishes said that there was still one last dish that had not been served. It would be done once it was served. All this made the table, which was originally a bit lively with chats, seem a bit quiet now. Haha, this Jess is really good. I didn't expect him to be so good at cooking. I'm drooling when I smell it. The godmother said as she looked at the quietness on the table. To be honest, she was a little shocked just now. It was really unexpected that her lazy godson was such a good cook. Yeah, I didn't expect this bad boy to have such a skill. It's amazing. Li Shuang agreed with her mother and said, it seems that this Zhao Jixi is very unusual. Chengnan also suddenly thought of something. Her eyes were moving around again. It seemed that she suddenly thought of something. But I'm so hungry. Jess is so amazing. He is rich, and he can cook. He is really suitable to be a boyfriend. Lee Hyori also thought. Thinking about how she has lived for the past few decades, it seems that she can't even cook a home-cooked meal. It was only recently, when she was with the family, that she would cook some food casually. After a while, along with the fragrance, the voice came over. Okay, everyone, slow down. The most important dish today is about to be served. Zhao Jixi came out with a large casserole, and then slowly put it on the dining table. Is this the chicken soup? Well, but the chicken water here is not very good. If I raise it in the United States, the taste will definitely be better. But I put a lot of medicinal materials. You can try it first. Zhao Jixi said. Medicinal herbs. Yes, if you want to buy that ginseng in China, you may not be able to buy it, no matter how much money you pay. Zhao Jixi said proudly, looking very pleased with himself. Ginseng? Yes, godmother, this is a century-old mountain ginseng, which is rare outside. Chapter 289. It's really delicious. Li Hyori looked at what they were talking about with a questioning look on her face, and Li Shuang saw this, and told her about this ginseng chicken soup that is both beautifying and delicious. Hearing Li Hyori's face full of shock and a little bit of distrust, Li Shuang smiled and asked her to see his mother, to see how effective it is. Li Hyori's eyes immediately became jealous. When she came in, she found that Li Shuang's mother had very good skin, and looked very young. At first, I thought she was a noble lady, so she took good care of herself, and she looked young, because she had nothing to do. I didn't expect that she would also have the effect of drinking this chicken soup. And now this is the effect after some of it has subsided. The effect of drinking this soup just now is just average. Annie, it's not as exaggerated as Shuang said. Everyone has different physiques and different absorption abilities. In addition, for people of godmother's age, the effect may be particularly obvious. Young people may not have such obvious effects. Zhao Jixi said. But even if it's a little worse, it's still great. This is not the effect of Macup, but the real effect of no Macup. Z. It's really great. I'm a little dreamy. Li Hyori said a little excitedly. Zhao Jixi smiled softly and said, then you should try to eat more. I hope I can give you a surprise tomorrow. Then the godmother spoke, and said with finality, okay, the ladies here should eat more today, and you two men should eat less, especially you, Jixi. With your appetite, if you let go, I guess we won't be able to eat anything. Zhao Jixi was the one with tears streaming down his face. It seems like I cooked this, and although I can eat, I don't have to eat so much. Although Zhao Jixi can eat, he didn't plan to eat more at this time. Since this can improve his physical condition, he still hopes that the godmother will eat more. Next time, bring mom and dad over and cook for them. Or just give them the medicine bag and ask them to put it in and cook it as usual. Yes, Jess, you should eat less. Mom, you see your son has lost weight recently. Can you eat more? Li Shuang said with a lick on his face. Eat your food. You'll have a bowl in a minute. So many dishes can't fill your stomach. The godmother said unmoved. Then she picked up the spoon to scoop a little for each person, but as the younger generation, Li Hyori and Chengnan immediately reacted and wanted to get up to help. No, you are all guests today, I'll do it, the godmother said. After hearing this, several people sat down embarrassedly. Then the godmother was very partial to the women and made a big bowl, while Zhao Jixi and Li Shuang obviously had much less than them. This is for beauty. Why do you men need this? It's right to eat more and gain strength. Zhao Jixi and Li Shuang were suddenly majestic. Is this the usual godmother? Are we still her sons? After the two looked at each other, they all smiled bitterly, but no one said anything. Anyway, there are still a few chickens in the kitchen. When the time comes, ask Jess to make a few servings. The chicken soup is fragrant and the taste of the thick soup is very good. It combines the essence of medicinal materials and the taste of other ingredients. It really combines the essence in one. Li Hyori took a bite of the chicken leg that her godmother gave her. The meat felt like it was melting in her mouth. After taking 2 bites, she wanted to swallow her tongue. It was really delicious. Chengnan was the same. It's really delicious. I have lived for so many years, and the chicken soup I drink now tastes the best. I used to think they were exaggerating, but I didn't expect it to taste so good. Then he looked at Zhao with bright eyes and said, Jess, you are really a cooking god. This taste is so wonderful. Yes, I didn't expect that you are so good at cooking, Jess. If you don't have it, after eating this today, what should I do, Jess? Li Shuang also said loudly. I didn't expect that this was really made by Jess. I didn't believe it last time, but this time it's confirmed. The godmother also expressed her initial doubts. Jess, I'm so sorry, godmother didn't believe you. It's okay, godmother, I didn't know I had this talent at first. It's normal for you to have doubts. It takes decades for ordinary people to make such delicious food. It's all talent. Yes, mom, don't say it anymore. If you say it again, this kid's tail will be up to the sky. Talented. Isn't it obvious that he is gifted? Li Shuang said to the godmother. Having said that, he also believed Zhao Jixi's statement in his heart, otherwise he couldn't make such delicious food. During the meal, everyone toasted and drank a little red wine, so their faces were a little flushed. At this time, the dishes on the table were almost eaten up, and the big hen was left. The chicken bones were still on the table to prove that it had existed. The other dishes were also eaten by them. After drinking the chicken soup, the appetites of the women were actually a little full, but the dishes on the table were also very delicious. They couldn't help but eat more, and now their stomachs were bloated. Sitting there, each of them touched their bloated stomachs. As for the other dishes, either Li Shuang ate them, or Zhao Jixi ate them. In the end, even Li Shuang ate until his stomach was bloated, but he saw that there were still some left. The delicious dishes attracted him to eat more, but Zhao Jixi saw the appearance and swept away the rest to prevent him from getting an upset stomach. But Li Shuang watched him eat with big mouthfuls and looked at him with resentment in his eyes. My spare ribs, my pig's trotters, I really want to eat some more. Why don't I have such a strong stomach like yours? Really? Zhao Jixi looked at him with amusement and said, okay, if you can't eat it, don't be stubborn. At worst, I can cook another meal tomorrow. You are really a person. If it tastes good, you will eat it desperately. I don't know if your stomach can bear it. Do you think you are me? Really? Li Shuang seemed moved at first, but at the end, he gave him a twist. This kid is taking revenge. Didn't I call him a foodie before, and now he wants to get it back from me? While saying that, he also boasted about himself. Well, Jixi is right, said the godmother. Well, let's not talk back. This kid must be happy in his heart. Li Shuang thought. In the evening, after the few people finished eating, they sat on the large balcony on the second floor. This villa has a platform-like balcony on the second floor, where you can sit and rest at ordinary times. And the original owner also built a shelf around it and planted some plants in it. It makes the overall feeling here come alive. Sitting here at night, to look at the stars, drink a cup of good tea, eat some snacks or fruits, and smell the scent of plants. It is really a great enjoyment to chat with 3 or 5 good friends. At this time, there are 4 people sitting here. The godmother saw that they were all young people in pairs, so she went to her friend's place to play, and also said that walking more is just right for digestion. There is no point in this for several people. It's only a little after 8 o'clock now. It's still early. It's probably not till late at 11 or 12 o'clock in the capital. Several people sat around a small table and chatted about nothing. Li Hio-ri, try this preserved fruit. This thing is very delicious. It is also specially made by Jess. Li Shuang pointed to the plate of preserved fruit and then said the same thing to Cheng Nan. Oh, then I'll try it. Li Hio-ri also took out a piece and put it in her mouth and took 2 bites. Wow, it's really delicious, sour and sweet, but the taste is really just right, and it's healthier than other snacks. Cheng Nan didn't say anything after hearing this. He just picked up a piece and put it in his mouth. He had eaten too much food today, but he still wanted to continue eating. How could he hold back now? Chapter 290 Car Accident. PS. There was a mistake in the previous article. According to Korean etiquette, women should call their elder sister Raoni, and men should call their elder sister Nuna. Now it has been corrected. Unconsciously, the figure of Jay Chou suddenly appeared in Li Hiore's mind. This man really shocked her too much. Whether it was because he walked in front of her and made her angry, or because he stepped forward to help her block the attack and finally saved her. After arriving at the police station together, he not only did not blame her, but also chatted with her. Although they were strangers, they felt strangely that they could talk to each other. Then she found out that this man was a rich man, and an influential rich man. When she invited him, she was worried about gains and losses. Later, he had something to do, but he was very considerate and invited her to come. After arriving here, she saw his friends and family, and also saw this man cooking. Although he was not very old and was not a professional chef, he made such a delicious table of dishes. Now even when he was resting, the preserved fruits he ate were so magical and delicious. All of this went through her mind. She could only use the word magical to express her shock. Zhou Jixi brought a few cups of coffee. After everyone got one cup, he sat down and said with interest, "What are you guys talking about? You are chatting so enthusiastically. You are talking about your great achievements. Are you excited?" Li Shuang said jokingly. After sitting for a while and chatting together, Zhou Jixi suddenly made a look at Li Hiore. Although she didn't know what he wanted to do, Li Hiore followed him to another place on the platform. "What's wrong with Jess?" "Oh, no, I asked Nuna to come here just to spend more time with the two of us," Zhou Jixi said lightly, but there was a little excitement in his eyes. Li Hiore happened to see this, and who knew what he said. Suddenly Li Hiore's face turned red. What does he mean by this? What's wrong, Nuna? Your face suddenly turned red? Oh, really? I don't know. Maybe it's because of the red wine I drank just now. Li Hiore made up a story. Who knows that she didn't get drunk after drinking a bottle of white wine, but now she gets drunk after drinking red wine. What Zhou Jixi didn't know was that Li Hiore actually thought that he was talking to him. And what he said was just right. Li Hiore still had his shadow in her mind. He didn't say anything excessive, which meant that the two of them had to get along for a while. According to her understanding, this didn't mean that Zhou Jixi wanted to get to know him better, or that he wanted her to get to know him better. She also blushed and began to speak. "Well, we have to get along for a while, so that we can deepen our understanding of each other. Yes, no matter what we do, only when both parties are familiar with each other can we make the right decision. Otherwise, everyone doesn't know much, but gets impulsive. Obviously, that will not be good for anyone," Zhou Jixi said. The two of them actually chatted harmoniously in such a ridiculous chat. Zhou Jixi usually claimed how good he was at picking up girls, but when it came to actual practice, he didn't know that the woman in front of him had agreed to pursue him. As for him, he thought that the two were talking about Li Shuang and Chengnan. Although there were some errors in the sentences, they both thought that it was because of the foreign language translation, or that there was a gap between what they said and what they understood because of cultural issues. At around 10 o'clock in the evening, Chengnan wanted to say goodbye and go back, and Li Hiore also felt that it was time to go back, so she followed suit. The two men must have said that they would see him off. Fortunately, Chengnan drove over, so Zhou Jixi could drive his car out instead of driving the Nana's car. Li Hiore also ignored that she could actually make a phone call, and the assistant could come to pick her up. In her heart, she made up an excuse for herself, saying that the assistant had to rest, and it was a bit late now. Although it seemed to be just after 10 o'clock, having an excuse could make her feel better. Driving on the road in the capital, Zhou Jixi was actually not familiar with the road, but fortunately he had a navigation system, so he would not be unable to find the hotel where Li Hiore was staying. "Nana, is it hard to be a star?" Li Hiore, who was sitting next to him absent-mindedly, was stunned for a moment. Then she came to her senses and said to Zhou Jixi, "Well, although this job looks very beautiful, it is also very tiring. But I have never regretted it. After all, it has also brought me the life I have now. People cannot live only knowing how to complain and not knowing how to be grateful." Zhou Jixi was also stunned when he heard this, and this touched him deeply. In his previous life, although Zhou Jixi was paid for his work, he was never satisfied. Every time he felt that this job was not worthy of his salary. He was capable, but there was always a group of incompetent people as leaders. He kept complaining and complaining, and he was not very serious about his work. If you give up first, how can anyone find you? Even if there is a bowl, he will only see you who is lazy and undisciplined. There is a famous saying that is still very true. Opportunities are always reserved for those who are prepared. What you learn is your own, and if you have the ability, you can do something else. Even if you are in a bad company, they always need people who are really capable of working to do things. Of course, as long as the boss is not an idiot or a fool, but this kind of people can't start a company. Even if it is a person with a burst of luck, if he is stupid, he won't be able to run a company for long. Zhou never thanked and appreciated what his work brought him. Now he heard what Li Hao said, and he understood a lot. It seems that there is a kind of enlightenment in his heart, and he has completely let go of many enlightenments. Maybe this is why they can succeed with a grateful heart, constantly moving forward and working hard. Suffering is only temporary after all, as long as you don't give up. Jess, be careful of the car in front. Li Hao suddenly shouted beside Zhou. Suddenly he was distracted and saw a BMW car driving towards him. There was no time to close his eyes. His mind reacted instantly. He turned the steering wheel with both hands, stepped on the brake with one foot, and then accelerated with the other foot. He quickly dodged the car in front and came to another line, but he was already in the opposite direction. There was another car coming in front. He then quickly operated again, dodged the car on the right again, and immediately returned to the original track. He quickly looked back and saw that the car was still swaying and driving in the opposite direction. Zhou immediately thought that the driver was either drunk driving or too tired. This car is going to have an accident. He thought of this instantly, but now he didn't know what to do. He couldn't just drive the car to the front to intercept it like in the movies. Please, this is reality, and Zhou is not filming Fast and Furious. Expecting him to do those stunts is a joke. Li Hao patted her chest to relieve the spirit that was frightened just now, but now she couldn't help but look back to see the situation behind her. Jess. She didn't know what to say now and called his name inexplicably. The car was still driving in the opposite direction. Fortunately, the car behind was not driving fast, so they also avoided it. However, the car was still driving, and it was only a matter of time before it would hit someone. At this time, the cars next to it had slowed down, and some even pulled over to the side, looking at the car and cursing. Or they picked up their phones to call the police, but most people started to honk their horns loudly, hoping to alert some people. Others didn't know what to do. The BMW was lucky. It had been driving in the opposite direction for a long time without hitting any other car. If it was lucky, if there was a traffic light in front, it would be possible that the others would not have any problems. But now it is always worrying. The BMW suddenly accelerated, probably because it stepped on the brake too hard. Maybe it woke up, or it wanted to brake, but stepped on the wrong brake. Anyway, the speed increased again, and the car immediately hit a Mitsubishi SUV police car. Oh my god, it actually hit a police car. Zhou didn't know whether to laugh or not, but at least no civilians were hit, and the police car was still driving forward regardless of everyone's sirens. It seemed that there was something wrong with the car. A bang was followed by a shrill slala sound. After the BMW hit the police car, it drove forward for a while until it hit a tree on the side of the road. The car stopped, but there was a firework on the road. The airbags on the car were all inflated, but the front of the car was seriously damaged, and it was impossible to see inside from the outside. It was unknown whether the people inside were alive or dead. The door on the right side of the police car opened immediately, and a fat and big-eared man in plain clothes came out. Seeing this, Zhou was in no mood to watch the excitement. It was estimated that this place would become a scene in a while, and the police and traffic personnel would also come. If they had to keep 2 people to take statements, they would not be able to afford it. He was taking a Korean star with him. If he went to the police station, it would definitely be on the news. Not to mention the trouble, I believe it would also affect Li Hao. Fortunately, many people on the road had the same idea as him, and they also started their cars to leave this troubled place. Jess, are we leaving just like that? Should we wait for the local police to take a statement? Lee Hyori looked frightened, but she still asked Zhao Jixi. No need, there are cameras and many people here, and we are not needed. Besides, it's not good to have your identity listed. Besides, everyone else has left, and it doesn't matter if we leave. Zhao Jixi said, while driving the car. He cares about me, and is still thinking about me. Lee Hyori couldn't help feeling a little sweet in her heart, so she blushed and said HMM. Chapter 291 Graceful. It was almost 11 o'clock when he sent Lee Hyori to the hotel. Zhao Jixi was still wondering if she would invite him up to sit down. Then the question is, should I obey her or not? It's really a simple question. Unfortunately, Lee Hyori did not follow his script. She was still in shock. Although Zhao Jixi's words just now made her forget the fear at that time, it was not so easy to let go of this matter. She wanted to go back and drink some wine, have a good sleep, and forget about this matter when she woke up tomorrow. Thank you for your hospitality today. It's a blessing to eat the food you made. Today is one of my happiest days. I will remember it. Also, thank you for saving my life. Lee Hyori looked at Zhao Jixi and said when she was about to get off the car. The pair of smoky eyes revealed a strange emotion. He waved his hands quickly and said, no, it's me who should apologize. If it weren't for my invitation, you wouldn't have been scared. I'm really sorry. If you don't mind my bad luck, I'll cook next time. I hope to invite you to taste it. No, why would I mind? And you're not unlucky, really. If I were sitting in someone else's car, it might be a different treatment. Besides, you've saved me twice so far. Zhao Jixi couldn't help but smile even more bitterly when he heard her say that. It seemed that something happened to her every time she met him. What was this? Was he destined to be a hero and save the beauty, or did he bring bad luck to her? Speaking of the previous life, it seemed that there was no attack on Lee Hyori, nor was there a car crash on Lee Hyori. Could it be that my brother is a jinx? Oh my god. Zhao Jixi was really a little suspicious at this time, but no matter who had these bad luck, everyone would be suspicious, not to mention that this was something that had never happened in his previous life. Although nothing happened, Zhao Jixi didn't feel too sorry. His realm was different. If he had just exploded, he would definitely not be so calm. It is said that women are the school for men to grow up. In this period of time, Zhao Jixi has transferred to several schools that he can remember, and there are even more schools that he can't remember. Looking at Lee Hyori who has wrapped herself up again, Zhao Jixi nodded to him and went out to help her open the car door. Nana, be careful and have a safe trip. Well, go back and drive slowly. Thank you so much for today. Lee Hyori also waved and said. Back to the hotel room, Lee Hyori walked and laughed all the way. Just then, the assistant next to him saw that the light in his room was on, so he walked over. Then she saw Lee Hyori who was a little puzzled. Hyori, what happened to you? Why are you laughing so happily? Oh, Shuanani, you haven't rested yet. Lee Hyori just remembered that she seemed to have forgotten to close the door, and she went over to close the door. Jin Shuan looked at Lee Hyori strangely and walked around her a few times. Lee Hyori felt a little guilty, but she thought that she didn't seem to have done anything, so why should she feel guilty? So she immediately straightened up her momentum. What's wrong, Unni? Why do you keep looking at me like this? Oh, no, I just feel that you are a little different today. But I can't tell what's different. It's really strange. Jin Shuan looked puzzled. Okay, Unni, stop looking. Go order some snacks and buy some wine. I want to drink with you. I'm going to take a shower first. Hurry up. Really? Why are you still drinking so late? It's not good to eat at night. Oh, Unni. Hurry up. I have something to tell you later. I really want to drink now. This time, Lee Hyori's tone was a little affirmative. As an assistant, Jin Shuan didn't say much at this time. Just now, as a friend for many years, she could say that. But this time, Lee Hyori really needed it, so as an assistant, she must do it. Okay, I'll go buy some now. You go take a shower first. Seeing that everyone had left, Lee Hyori went in to take a shower. First, she took off her outer coat and then unzipped the back of the dress in front of the mirror, revealing a slightly wheat-colored back, smooth and bright, with a sexy curve. The skirt retreated to her feet. The raised buttocks encapsulate this pair of black lace panties, and there are a few pink crystals on the front of the panties. It makes people absolutely unable to take their eyes off. The agile thighs run through the entire leg, and the muscles on the feet are also very symmetrical and full of health. Then look up, and you can see the pair of white rabbits that are not small. The bra that follows the panties is the kind of chest lifting style, which gathers the two balls firmly and temptingly. Although you can't see inside, the 3-point fullness that is exposed at this time makes people want to press their hands on it and rub it. The beautiful and tempting scenery is revealed bit by bit. Lee Hyori reaches behind her and unhooks the hook at the back. With her right hand, she takes off the straps of the two shoulders, and then the two full breasts are exposed. The two small cherries on the top are really exciting, and I can't wait to go up and suck them carefully. After putting the bra on the platform, she began to push down the panties and reach down a little. She began to bend down, and her buttocks became a perfect shape. The man could just stand in the right position and drive straight into her, waiting to whip her to the peak. Unfortunately, no one appreciated this beautiful scenery at this moment, and she could only record it in the mirror for a moment. After she lifted her legs and took out her pants, she could see the dark forest and the Zizi Valley in front of her, but unfortunately, no one came to explore. Lee Hyori turned on the shower head, and the water flowed down her head, flowing over her beautiful facial features, flowing over her plump breasts, flowing over her mermaid line, and flowing over the valley. Drops of water were still dripping from the hair between her legs to the ground, and she felt a little itchy for some reason. She couldn't help but reach down and gently stroked it for a while, and she felt much better. But suddenly, the shadow of Jay Chou emerged in her mind, that tall and secure man with a manly smell all over his body. She took a deep breath, as if the smell of Jay Chou was still lingering in the air. The hand under her body began to move again, and the other hand also began to touch her fullness unconsciously. Lee Hyori let the water pour down, and her wheat-colored skin became more and more flushed. Not long after, she couldn't help but moan HMM, HMM. Well, the sound was not loud, but very tempting, like the kind of feeling that makes people feel refreshed to the bone. Ah. Finally, with her efforts, the last moment finally arrived, and Zhao Jix's smile also appeared in her mind. It was his most special smile, strangely with a kind of desire, a feeling of wanting her. What am I doing, masturbating thinking about him? Although she felt happy, she felt a little guilty and embarrassed after she realized it. It's just that I was a little frightened today. Maybe I need to vent. That's right. Now I feel much better after venting. It seems that the effect is not bad. It's a good way to relieve stress. I didn't expect that I could find this good way. It's great. People are indeed guilty, not only deceiving others, but now they can even deceive themselves. The flowers bloom at both ends, and after Lee Hyori talked about Zhao Jixi at the moment, he was driving and muttering to himself, I'm worse than beasts, really worse than beasts. Maybe even worse than beasts. Others at least stayed in the same room, and I didn't even stay in her room. After returning home, he found that Li Shuang had already arrived home. After seeing Zhao Jixi coming back, he was obviously stunned for a moment, and then said with a teasing tone, Yo, you are not a beast, but now you are worse than a beast. It's a pity that I thought you would be able to sleep outside tonight. It seems that I overestimated you. Go to hell. Am I the kind of person you think I am? How can I think about bang 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 every day? But I'm in a relationship with someone. Zhao Jixi paused again and said, what about you? You're really in a relationship with someone now. It's not easy. Haha. Yes, you are a person who talks about feelings. Li Shuang said with a smile. Zhao Jixi couldn't sleep in bed at night. He didn't get anything from the beautiful woman he just got, so he couldn't help feeling a little disappointed. Fortunately, seeing that no one ran directly into the space to soak in the river of vitality, he felt much more comfortable. He stayed in the space for a while, reading books, practicing boxing, and killing time. In the morning, he saw that the time was almost up, so he came out. He casually tidied up his clothes and went downstairs to have breakfast. After dinner, he accompanied his godmother to go shopping, buying, and selling clothes. Zhou probably has quite a lot of clothes, but this is his godmother's kindness, so he can't refuse. He just thought of it as making the old lady happy, so he accompanied her shopping for an afternoon. And Li Hao called as expected, and the old process was a bit funny. When she woke up in the morning and went to take care of her personal hygiene, she inadvertently saw herself in the mirror. This one scared almost everyone, and they shouted "Ah!" Pierced the sky. Immediately, the assistant outside the suite ran over nervously. Chapter 292 Miraculous Effects. But it's not over yet. The assistant screamed when she saw Li Hao, but she looked surprised. She hurriedly looked in the mirror and touched her skin a little nervously. Then she looked carefully again. She was familiar with Li Hao's skin care, so she screamed, "Oh my god, Haori, this skin. My god, what's wrong with it?" The assistant was a little at a loss. She wanted to touch her skin, but she was afraid of ruining the scene. She kept preparing until the senior Kim Suk-won came in. "What's wrong with you?" Kim Suk-won asked, and then she saw Li Haori. "Oh my god. Not only is there no swelling today, but it's still so moist and beautiful." The slightly opened mouth was almost unable to close at this moment. "Haori, did you cast a magic spell? This is so amazing." But suddenly his face became very strange, staring at Li Haori blankly, and even showed a very worried look. She wanted to ask but couldn't speak. She was fine at first, but when she saw Kim Suk-won's face, Li Haori knew that she was thinking of something bad. After thinking it over, she immediately knew what Kim Suk-won was thinking. "Oh, what are you thinking? I didn't take that kind of injection. Besides, I'm not shameful. How could I take that kind of beauty injection with side effects? Really, I'm so untrustworthy." After hearing what Li Haori said, Kim Suk-won and the assistant also thought that it was true. She really didn't need beauty injections. But they were also very puzzled about Li Haori's changes. "Then, what's wrong with you?" I'm. Li Haori thought about what was going on with her. "Haori, you should eat more. This thing is really effective. It replenishes ki and nourishes the skin. It is the best medicinal food for us women. Moreover, the medicinal materials contained in it are very precious. Sometimes even if you have money, you can't buy it on the market." Li Haori's mind immediately emerged with these words. This is what Zhao Jixi's godmother, the mother of Director Li Shuang, said to Cheng Nan yesterday. At first she thought it was a bit exaggerated, but when she looked at herself, she felt that it was not an exaggeration at all. Now the facts are in front of her, and this is the truth. I wanted to invite him to dinner yesterday to thank him, but he happened to have something to do in the evening. He said he would cook at home and entertain his relatives and friends, but he agreed to my dinner proposal last time. But he will definitely break the appointment this time. He may feel guilty, so he invited me to visit him and try the food he cooked himself. And it was difficult for me to refuse at that time, and he asked me repeatedly, so I agreed and accepted his invitation. Several people also knew who he was. He was the young, handsome, and rich man they met. Is it related to him? Well, I remember that he cooked a lot of dishes at his house, and they all tasted great. They were much better than those made by the chef of the Shina Hotel in Seoul. Later, he also brought a pot of chicken soup, but they said it was a medicinal food, and the medicinal plants in it were very precious. And the mother of Director Lee also said that the chicken soup was a good thing and could beautify the face. She also said that the effect was very good the first time, but as time went by, more and more toxins continued to accumulate in the body, and it would become the same as before. The few people listened a bit like a TV series. This is really amazing. The lives of rich people are really the most desirable. Hyori, you are really lucky, you dare to get all these good things. I'm so envious. The envy and jealousy in the eyes of the women almost melted her now. Beauty is sometimes more important to women than life. Fortunately, Lee Hyori has seen all kinds of eyes, and these eyes are just drizzle. She smiled brightly without any stage fright. Beauty is indeed the original sin. Hey, I'm so jealous. I don't need to wear makeup anymore. I'm so beautiful without makeup. Even if it fades a little after a while, I just need to put on some light makeup to make it up. It seems that I'm going to be unemployed. Lee Hyore's makeup artist looked sad, which made everyone around speechless. Even so, she still needs stage makeup, smoky makeup and a lot of other effect makeup. She is obviously flattering now. You girl has learned bad things. You even started to flatter. Hey. No way. I'm telling the truth. Ah, sister, you spanked me again. Even if you are my sister, you can't take advantage of me. Everyone was talking happily at this time, but there was no sense of confidentiality, which caused another storm when she returned to China. The general public and the entertainment media suspected that Lee Hyore had taken banned drugs, otherwise how could she be so beautiful without makeup? This matter became a commotion. Whether it was the company coming out to clarify, or Lee Hyore herself, it was useless until several authoritative hospitals publicly examined Lee Hyore and finally produced a medical examination certificate, indicating that Lee Hyore was in good health, and had no banned drug ingredients in her body. Only then did the banned drug incident calm down. But this also brought another thing to the surface, that is, why did she become beautiful? At that time, not only did the media begin to follow up on the report, but even some Korean ladies began to invite Lee Hyore to find out what she had eaten. At this time, Lee Hyore didn't think about these things at all. She was now unconsciously narcissistic. She looked in the mirror whenever she had time. She was afraid that this beauty would disappear in an instant. In fact, it's not that exaggerated. She has a good foundation. It's just that she is usually tired from work and has an irregular life. It makes it impossible to see anything on the surface of the body, but the spirit is always damaged. It's just that the complexion is clear, but it is covered up after makeup, and in normal times, if there is no maintenance, the negative state is also more severe than that of ordinary people. This is also the sequelae of using too much cosmetics. Most girls are like this now. If you have been using cosmetics, once you stop using them, your skin will not adapt to it, and then the problem will appear. People with bad luck or sensitive skin will have allergic rashes, etc., which will then cause complications. You may suffer from urticaria, chronic urticaria and a series of other problems. Now after drinking chicken soup, Lee Hyore will excrete some toxins when she goes to the toilet at night. In addition, the 100-year-old ginseng replenishes the body's vitality, and the body is full of essence, so of course her face looks much better. In addition, the beauty effect of medicinal food also makes her skin elastic and shiny. At this time, she is still considering whether to call Zhou to express her gratitude, so time passed by in between calling or not. Zhou accompanied his godmother shopping in the afternoon, and wanted to go back at night. But suddenly, several of his godmother's old classmates said they wanted to have dinner together, and they specifically asked Zhou to express their gratitude for the last time. In the morning, the daughters of several people found that Chengnan was not right. Although the changes of young people were not as obvious as those of middle-aged women, but her skin was full of luster and elasticity, and she looked energetic and charming. It was basically the same as those aunts some time ago. Besides, there was no cosmetic that could achieve such a good effect. Then someone must have given her a special treatment. And the person she was dating was Li Shuang, so it was clear that Chengnan had cheated herself. And Cheng Ying, an old classmate of her godmother, was Chengnan's aunt, and Li Shuang was also introduced to her by her. So she called Chengnan and Chengnan couldn't help but say it. So she said it frankly, saying that she had mentioned it to Li Shuang, and this ghost was also the same. So she directly called his brother to come back to China. The most speechless thing was that he really came back. Yesterday, Li Shuang happened to ask her out, but she received a call from the nanny at home, saying that Mr. Zhou was going to cook at home. So she didn't eat outside, and followed him to Li Shuang's house. His brother wanted to show off his cooking skills to his mother, so he also made chicken soup. So he drank a lot yesterday. Cheng Ying couldn't help but be a little speechless, but she was very happy in her heart, thinking that the two of them had basically done it. Finally, the problem of the second brother's family was solved. Li Shuang is a good person. After contacting this old classmate recently, and getting along with each other for a while, she found that her temper has improved a lot. Although she still has the flavor of the Korean patriarch, she is definitely a person with temperament and temperament. In addition, her family background is not bad. Li Shuang has Chinese nationality, but he still has some influence in Korea, which is also a big advantage. The second brother's family is not like the eldest brother's, and they have to take care of all aspects. Now the man has feelings, and seeing that her niece is also interested in the woman, she is happy for them. However, Cheng Ying still said a few words to her. As a girl, some things should not be said casually. People will take a fancy to you, so they call their brothers in the United States back to help. This is to give you face, but you must grasp the measure in the future. Sometimes a woman can also win by taking a step back. In short, after talking for a long time, Cheng Nan was a little speechless. Although his aunt was good to him, she always arranged blind dates for him in the past, and most of them were not the type he liked. Now she found a good one, but she started nagging again. Why didn't she know that her aunt had this side before? It turned out that people are always moving forward and evolving. Now she has become her next step. After hanging up the phone, Cheng Ying suddenly wanted to meet this Zhao Jixi. He can make such delicious food and is a very loyal person. Li Ziyuan said that he lives in the United States. It seems that he has a large piece of land and has invested in some stocks. The most important thing is that he seems to have no girlfriend. Thinking of this, she came to the point that maybe she solved a long-standing problem, but there are still many. It's a pity that Kiki doesn't get along with Li Shuang. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 293, Met an Acquaintance. However, it is easy to find a husband with her personality. There is still one most difficult person in the family, that is Anaya. This girl's reputation has spread throughout the capital, and it is estimated that she is known in the domestic circles. When those men heard that they were going to have a blind date with her, they immediately shook their heads and refused to go. They also said that they must not tell me that they had mentioned it. Even their parents were determined not to do it. Now that man doesn't cheat a little, if he is with Anaya in the future and falls into her hands, he will probably never be a man in this life. Thinking of this, which parents dare to want such a daughter-in-law, and which man dares to want such a wife? There are so many beautiful women on the market, it is really not worth provoking her. Should we introduce her to this Zhao Jixi to see? Cheng Ying thought, thinking that this idea is not bad. They are brothers, and Li Shuan can handle Cheng Nan. This Zhao Jixi should also be able to handle Anaya, right? Thinking of this, she planned to ask a few sisters to go out for dinner together, saying that she was going to find Zhao Jixi. In the name of everyone went together to see if they could have his medicinal chicken soup again. Angry. Zhao Jixi sneezed. Who is plotting against me? In the evening, Zhao Jixi had another task, which was to have a meal with several sisters of his godmother, all of whom were the women who drank chicken soup last time. After arriving at the place, several people saw that the godmother had become more beautiful, and they knew that she had not drunk less. They all hurriedly came up and kept looking at the godmother. Ziyuan, you are so lucky. You are so young and beautiful every day. Hey, look at us. We are all old and ugly now. We can't compare with us. Seeing these mature and graceful women saying such things, Zhao Jixi couldn't help but be very surprised. They all had high temperament and good figure, yet they still said that someone was old and ugly. These women are really capable. However, when Zhao Jixi saw them, he hurried over to say hello. Several women also looked at him, and then Li Lin said with a smile, this is your godson. He is really a handsome man. Well, he is a handsome man. You don't need to praise him anymore. They are all old classmates, and the godmother also joked. Then she said to Zhao Jixi next to her, Jess, this is my old classmate. You can just call her Aunt Li. Hey. Zhao Jixi responded and followed her to say hello. Then the godmother introduced several other women. Zhao Jixi also looked at them one by one and praised them. He was also very good at speaking and said a few words. Several women were very happy and said that Zhao Jixi was good at talking. After the words were finished, they prepared to go to the box to chat. After all, standing in the hall was not a good thing. However, several women chatted non-stop as they walked on the road, and they were hinting that they wanted to call the godmother and let her godson do another job. So the godmother was also embarrassed and looked at him embarrassedly as she walked on the road. Zhou Jixi felt that it was so cold, but he couldn't give people the impression that this thing was easy to get, otherwise the favor would seem cheap. He explained the difficulty of this thing and made several aunts understand his difficulty. Then they walked to the private room. It must be said that the hotel in the capital is not bad. This one has a magnificent style. When you walk into the private room, there is a smaller version of the crystal chandelier in the lobby. But from the inside of the private room, it is very grand and gorgeous, and the crystals are all sparkling. You can see that the lamp is cleaned regularly. Otherwise, even the best crystal lamp will be dimmed by dust, but to clean it, a lot of manpower is wasted every time. For such a large lamp, there are tens of thousands of accessories alone. They have to be wiped one by one, and they cannot be neglected, otherwise they will fall and break if they are not careful. It is indeed a big hotel. Everything is done very delicately. Looking at the environment is very comfortable, and it seems to be a pleasure to eat here. Zhou Jixi couldn't help but think. After everyone sat down, they began to order dishes. This was another round of taking off clothes, and finally Cheng-Ang ordered. During the meal, she kept asking Zhou Jixi what he liked to eat, and also asked about some other things inadvertently. The people sitting there didn't notice her little thoughts. While waiting for the dishes to be served, several women started chatting. Although they were all chatting, they also took care of him. Fortunately, he happened to be carrying a fashionable shoulder bag, so he pretended to say that he had put some in the bag. So he generously gave everyone a pack of medicine packets, saying that as long as they went back, they could make chicken soup with this stuff. The eyes of these aunts lit up on the spot, watching Zhou Jixi take out a white jade box from his bag, which contained some already divided medicine packets. They took the medicine packets carefully. Some of them couldn't help but pick it up and smell it, and their spirits were lifted a lot. Several people looked at each other, and their expressions of joy emerged. Then they kept praising Zhou Jixi, and some even praised him up and down. Some even asked Zhou Jixi if he had a girlfriend now, and they could introduce him to their daughter. Zhou Jixi waved his hands and said no, no, no. He didn't want to restrict women for the time being. He was still young, etc. Several women were not simple. They understood Zhou Jixi's meaning. Didn't they just want to have fun, now that they were young? Cheng-Ang felt a little sorry after hearing this, but this matter also depends on fate, since Zhou Jixi didn't mean that. There was no need to force it, so he put this matter in his heart, and didn't think about it anymore. Zhou Jixi also explained some necessary matters by the way, such as it is best to buy native chickens or pheasants. It is best to use a casserole for stewing soup, and the heat must be controlled. It is best to buy the best ingredients, etc. Finally, he said that it is best for several people to take this thing together. If one person takes it, the medicinal effect is too strong to be absorbed. However, it is not dangerous, but it will cause diarrhea, and it is also very wasteful. In addition, this is also a tonic. Although the ones he prepared are easy to absorb, they cannot be taken often, so it is best to take them once in a while. During the meal, the godmother's classmates Lilin and Cheng-Ang nodded in succession, and they had no doubt about what Zhou Jixi said. Although it is known that he didn't seem to have studied medicine for a long time after becoming his disciple, if he can't treat people, he can still talk about good health and beauty. Although there was no alcohol in this meal, it was very lively. There were several women alone, and they were all aunt-level figures. They liked to chat and gossip. Jess, come to your aunt's house next time you are free. Several people also said to Zhou Jixi, and they didn't look like they were joking. Of course, Zhou Jixi accepted all the offers and agreed to them all. Anyway, he was about to go to Zhanghe and then go back to the United States. As for going to their house, he would talk about it later. When he came to eat, Zhou Jixi thought he would have a chance to display his Chinese medicine skills, but when he came, he found out that these people were well maintained and healthy. It seemed that apart from maintaining beauty and replenishing energy, he was really not good enough for other things. While chatting, he happened to look at the door of the private room. At this time, Li Lin was about to go to the bathroom, so she opened the door of the private room. Hey, isn't that Zhang Ziyi's mother and her sister-in-law? He thought for a while, considering whether to go over and say hello, and he seemed to see that Zhang Ziyi's sister-in-law looked inside and happened to see him. Eyeing Zhou, who was walking by the door, saw Zhao Jixi and the women inside as expected, and now she also saw Li Lin. She quickly greeted, "Hey, Mrs. Li, you are also having dinner here. What a coincidence today." Li Lin heard someone talking, looked at her, paused, and then she remembered who this person was. Although this little girl is not very famous, she does have a famous sister-in-law. They had chatted a few words at cocktail parties before. Fortunately, she has a good memory, and she feels that her brain is working much better after drinking chicken soup recently. This also made her remember, oh, isn't this Eyeing Zhou? What a coincidence. A few friends are getting together today. Are you here too? Then she looked at Zhang's mother next to her. Auntie is here too. Hello. Although the words were enthusiastic, they were mostly polite. You're welcome, Mrs. Li. Zhang's mother also replied. After the mother-in-law finished speaking, Eyeing Zhou spoke up. We are also a family coming out to have a meal together. Oh. After Li Lin said a few more words, she separated from them. Eyeing Zhou, who walked to the private room, said to her mother-in-law, "Mom, guess who I saw in Madame Li's private room just now? Isn't it just that group of noble ladies? What's so strange about this? Even if it's the minister's wife, it wouldn't be strange. Who in the capital doesn't have a relative who is a high-ranking official, and he is originally from a red family? It's not strange to see anyone you see when you come out to have a meal together," said Zhang's mother. "No, Mom, I just saw Zhao Jixi in there," Eyeing Zhou said with some surprise. "Isn't he a landlord in the United States? He is of Chinese descent, right?" "Yeah, I'm wondering too," Eyeing Zhou also said. "Well, they are rich and powerful, so it's not surprising that they're linked together. Forget it, it's none of our business, so don't be curious about it," Zhang's mother said. Eyeing Zhou got a little anxious when he heard it. "Mom, it's none of our business, but it's Guan Ziyi's business. You couldn't tell when he came to our house last time." The two of them walked into the room, and Zhang Nan inside also heard what they said. "What's the matter with Ziyi?" Eyeing Zhou quickly told him, and Zhang Nan nodded. "I don't think this Zhao Jixi is simple. Okay, order some food. The two of them haven't even started dating yet. Why are you guys talking nonsense here?" Although Zhang's mother cares about her daughter's marriage life, she can't help but speak up when she sees that her son and daughter-in-law are too concerned. Update quickly. Pure Text Chapter 293, Socializing. In the private room, Zhao Jixi talked to a few aunts, saying that he had just seen an acquaintance and wanted to go over for a few drinks. Several people didn't have any objections. After all, it was really boring for a young man to follow a group of female comrades who seemed to be a generation behind him to sit for a long time. Just now, he heard that they seemed to be next door, so after talking to a few people, he came out and walked to the door of the next private room. He greeted the waitress serving outside, but she was very diligent and polite and didn't let Zhao Jixi in. Instead, she asked him to wait outside and went in first to talk to the owner of the private room. Zhao Jixi didn't mean to blame her. She was also a worker, and what she was doing now was her job. Besides, it was okay for him to wait for a while, and it was polite. After a while, the door opened again, and Zhang Ziyi's brother Zhang Lan walked out. "Oh, it's Jess. I didn't expect it was you. When my wife told me just now, I thought she saw it wrong." Haha. Zhao Jixi also laughed and said, "Just now I just happened to see my sister-in-law and aunt, so I came over to say hello." Then he said, "How are the old people?" "Of course they are good. My parents are better than me. They go out for exercise every day. Unlike me, I'm probably not as fast as my dad when climbing stairs." Zhang Lan also said eagerly, "It's Jess." Zhang's father inside suddenly spoke, "Hey, it's me. Come in and sit for a while. Look at your eldest brother, he didn't know to call you in. How can you still stand outside?" Zhang's father said. Zhang Lan's face was also embarrassed. Then he remembered that he was busy talking and the two were still standing outside the door. "Jess blames me. It's really rude. Come in and sit for a while." As he said that, He pulled one of his hands and walked in. It's okay. It's okay. I was having a good chat with my eldest brother. These are not a big deal. Zhao Jixi said quickly. Then he walked in and saw Zhang's father and mother sitting at the main seat of the round table. Uncle and aunt, hello. I haven't seen you for a while. You two old people are really getting better and better. Your body is still so strong. What the elderly like most is that someone praises their good health and good complexion. Especially the elderly who like sports. These people are also strong people. They hope that sports can get a good body and then get praise from others to prove that they are not the kind of people who will drag their children down, so that people know that they are old, but not old at heart. Zhao Jixi's words made the old man very happy. He said with a smile, it's okay, just exercise every day. You young people now should also practice more. Don't learn from him. Look at him. Now he is competing with me in long distance running. Maybe he can't run faster than me. Zhang's father said, and pointed to Zhang Lan as a negative example, and said to Zhao Jixi, it is natural for a father to beat his son, not to mention that he would say a few words to his father. Zhang Lan could only smile bitterly at Zhao Jixi. His wife laughed secretly beside him, obviously thinking that he should exercise more often. Jess, come and eat something. Have a drink with them. Zhang's mother said to Zhao Jixi. Zhao Jixi was not hypocritical. Okay, then I will drink a few glasses with my uncle and brother, but this time it is my aunts who are treating us, so it is not good to stay here for too long. I will punish myself with 3 glasses first. Zhao Jixi picked up the small white wine glass in the hotel and drank 3 glasses in a row. Okay, Jess is not bad, he is a man. Zhang's father was happy to see it and clapped his hands. I am. Zhao Jixi was embarrassed for a moment and then sat down. Now there are many dishes on the table, and he didn't hesitate to pick up the chopsticks brought by the waiter and ate some. During the dinner, they chatted happily. Zhang's father and mother also talked about Zhang Ziyi and whether he had contacted her recently. Zhao Jixi also said some truthfully, saying that Zhang Ziyi was filming recently and he was a little busy, so they didn't meet. However, the two of them sometimes called and sent messages, but there was nothing else. Zhang's father and mother couldn't help but look at each other, and the same was true for brother Zhang and his wife. The two old people's feelings for their daughter are now up to her. After all, they are in their 40s, and they can only talk a lot. Brother Zhang is very concerned about this. He has only one sister, since he was a child, and his good life now is also brought by his sister. No matter what his intention is, he has to care about this. After drinking a lot of wine with the two of them, Zhao Jixi said goodbye to them and went back to the original private room. The people in the Zhang family are also reasonable and happy that Zhao Jixi came to say hello in his busy schedule. Although Zhao Jixi is not busy, in fact, he will not say so to them. After going back to sit with the aunts for a while, they finished the meal at around 9 o'clock in the evening. Seeing that it was still early, everyone decided to go back to play mahjong, and Zhao Jixi had nothing to do at the moment, so he could only follow. Fortunately, the godmother also understood him and said that she would go to her son's place to play mahjong. Several aunts also agreed. In the morning, Zhao Jixi had come out of the space and went to sleep on the bed in the room. Suddenly, there was a knock on the door, and Li Shuang ran in a hurry. He was holding a newspaper in his hand, looking at Zhao Jixi with a smile. He felt a little strange to Li Shuang, so he said in a rather unhappy tone, "What are you doing? You don't sleep so early in the morning, and you get up so early and run to my room. My uncle, don't you see what time it is now, and it's still early in the morning." Li Shuang walked to the curtains in the room and pulled open the tightly closed curtains by Zhao Jixi. Suddenly, a large beam of sunlight retreated into the room. Damn, it's already 10 o'clock now, and you told me it was early in the morning. Zhao Jixi picked up his phone and looked at it. Hey, it seems to be past 10 o'clock. When he came back to sleep in the early morning, he might have overslept. So he also smiled dryly. Haha, it's still early. I'm on vacation now and don't have to go to work. Why should I rush? Besides, I played mahjong with those aunts yesterday until more than 2 o'clock. I didn't dare to win a dime, and I lost more than 100,000 yuan. It's not easy for me. As he said, He took away the quilt, got up and went to the pile of clothes bought yesterday, and casually put on a sweater chosen by his godmother yesterday. I don't know if it's a bad taste, or if he thinks he can wear multiple styles. This dress is actually cute. With Zhaoji's current sturdy flower boy look, it is really loving and attractive. You said you were winking at me yesterday. If not for you, it would be a piece of cake for me to win hundreds of thousands of dollars. Tell me how to settle this. Zhao said, then he found a pair of pants and put them on. Let me tell you, I'm still in debt of over 10 billion US dollars. This time, even the landlord has no more food left. Li Shuang was a little stunned. You're the only one who wins. You had bad cards in the first few rounds, and you lost tens of thousands. It was only later that your luck turned, and you had good cards. And the one you lost was Cheng's aunt. How could I let people think that she doesn't match my family's feng shui and keeps losing money when she comes? Oh, you're still crying poor to me now. You're still in debt of over 10 billion. All the money I have is only 1/10 of your debt, and most of it is in my mother's hands. I should be the one to cry. Zhao finally put on his clothes. But I don't want to talk about anything else. Get me a car first. I drive your car when I come back. Get me a car that is at least of the quality that can pick up girls. That's basically enough, and then we'll be even. You see, my requirements are not very high. Zhao said, and patted Li Shuang on the shoulder. Haha. Okay, no problem at all. We are brothers after all. You are so considerate of your brother. He hugged Zhao excitedly. But Zhao was a little confused at this time. He really wanted to buy it. Damn it, it's true that the crying child gets milk. I didn't expect that I, who cry poor, can get a car for free. Don't worry, I will call the agricultural machinery market later and tow a tractor directly to you. I heard that there is this car now. If it is in the village, those little girls will wait. It's not a big deal if you want to take a few of them. Li Shuang said with a lewd smile. Damn. Zhao knew that the guy was playing a trick on him and quickly followed up with ridicule. You are stupid, still living in the era when you can find girls in the village if you have a cow and a car. Now even in the village, you have to have a house and land. And a tractor. Africa you know all this. How about it? You are driving a tractor made in China. Moving forward under the African savannah, the scorching sun above your head is blocked by the roof. You are humming one or two songs in a chic manner and come to the girl with the sound of the tractor engine. If you have good skills, you can do a tail drift. Just think about it. It would be too cool and too trendy. Li Shuang was getting more and more excited, but it was obvious that Zhao face must be dark at this time. Damn, you stingy rooster. In order to save some money, you want to take me to Africa to pick up black girls. Look at me fishing for the moon in the bottom of the sea. As he said this, he reached down and scooped his hands, and Li Shuang felt that his balls were not calm. Ah, be gentler, don't pinch me. Ah, you little rascal, I'm your brother, AIZ. Li Shuang quickly grabbed Zhao arm and wanted to push him away, but unfortunately he was not as strong as Zhao, so he could only cry pitifully. Chapter 295 Plans and Changes. The godmother downstairs could hear the two people's voices from a distance. She was familiar with the two children's quarrels. She remembered that they were still teenagers before, but now they have grown up. She smiled happily and shouted loudly to the upstairs. How old are you two? You are still quarreling. Jeezy, come down to eat. The godmother shouted downstairs. Hey, I'll be down in a minute. Zhao replied and then said to Li Shuang, who was still touching his balls, you didn't come in today to tell me that you were going to eat? Bullshit. Oh, my balls. Come on, just touch them. Why are you shouting so loudly? Then what did you do in the morning? Try it, touch it. Look at the report yourself. Now it's even in the newspaper. I guess it's recommended on the front page. If you look for it on the internet. You kid is actually having an affair with Zhang Ziyi. Amazing. Sure enough, you are now an international level person. Even the girl you pick up is international. Ah. Then he thought of it. This should be the time when he rescued Li Hiyori. But how did Li Shuang know about him and Zhang Ziyi? He didn't seem to have said it. What's one leg? I still have two legs. I don't know what you are talking about. But they are still having an underground relationship. Li Shuang smiled indifferently, and then threw the newspaper he brought into Zhao Jixi. Look for yourself. It's all written on it. Zhao Jixi took it, and saw Zhang Ziyi's mysterious, rich rumored boyfriend, appeared at the capital airport again, embracing Korean Stoli Hyori. Seeing this debate topic, he couldn't help but frowned. Damn, there are so many exclamation marks on this title. Oh my god. It's not saying that I'm a playboy. But how do they know there is Zhang Ziyi? Zhao Jixi knew why after reading it. It was the watch that caused the trouble again. There was a picture of him guaranteeing Li Hyori on the newspaper, and there was also a picture of him and Zhang Ziyi at the airport at that time. The effect of both pictures was a bit ambiguous. Then there was an enlarged picture at the position of his hand. Both pictures have his watch, and as a buddy, Li Shuang must know about his watch. Moreover, these are air watches, and the price is so high, they are not common in the world. Besides, he already knew about Li Hyori's affairs. How could he not know after the report came out? Damn, this is cheating. They can even get involved. These people are all agents, so powerful. Zhao Jixi cursed. How could he know that this was just a coincidence? He just happened to let this reporter get his photo twice. When you are unlucky, you will be unlucky, no matter what you do. You have to admit it now. What do you think? You dared to fool me just now. You can't deny it now. Li Shuang said a little proudly, but Zhao Jixi was not a pushover at this time. He gestured with his hands, making him protect his crotch with both hands, just in case. You little brat, I'm your brother. Ah. He looked carefully again, and found that his face was not on the newspaper. Even if a photo of him was added later, his hat and big sunglasses blocked his face. Besides, he was not a star, so ordinary people could not recognize him at all. This made him feel much more at ease. Fortunately, I like to show off my handsomeness. If I didn't wear sunglasses, I would have been exposed. My second sister likes to read gossip and scandals so much, she would definitely see me on it. Once her big mouth knows, if she doesn't give me some benefits, I guess the whole family, even the families of her brothers-in-law, will know that this is her brother Zhao Jixi. Zhao Jixi was a little horrified when he thought of that scene. When he returned home, he would be interrogated. One by one, he would be asked questions one by one. It was terrible to think about that day. This life is so unlucky. Zhao Jixi complained. Think positively. If you want to date a female star, you have to be able to bear the consequences. You are still lucky now. People don't know your identity and can't dig into your family background. When those paparazzi can dig into your family background in the future, your life will probably be lively. Li Shuang told Zhao Jixi some experience. He was not bragging about his many years of dating female stars. His experience in hiding from the news was extraordinary. Hey, it's unlucky enough. Forget it. People don't know who I'm anyway. Let's go eat first. Zhao Jixi sighed. His mood seemed to suddenly improve. He remembered that his godmother had called him once just now. The food was probably a little cold now. Besides, it would be a while before everyone could have lunch directly, but he was only having breakfast at this time. Sure enough, it's really nice not to go to work. After breakfast in the afternoon, Zhao Jixi was thinking about where he would go next. It seems a bit bad to come back without visiting my parents. Also, my third and fourth sisters in Zhonghai are still helping there. Harvey has drafted the relevant contract, and the boss has signed it. Now the company has been bought. I have to go and see them when I'm free. And sister Yu and the gang of brothers, I have to go and see them when I'm free. By the way, the stewardess Jane hasn't called me recently. I guess they may have broken up. Anyway, there are so many women now. Since no one is in touch, then they are gone. Thinking that it's about time, he decided to go to Zhonghai first and stay there for a day or two. Then he will go back to his hometown to see his parents. But it hasn't been long since he left last time. In his previous life, he only saw them once a year, and he didn't feel anything at that time. But now it's only been a few months, and he has been running back and forth several times. And if I don't go to see my parents after I come back, I will feel guilty. Really, Zhao Jixi doesn't know what's wrong with him. Sometimes he was very conflicted. In fact, His parents were quite independent people. They could live well, even if they were alone. But sometimes they spoiled Jay Chou too much. So in his previous life, he developed that kind of soulless character. But sometimes man's plans are not as good as God's plans. Just when he had just thought about what to do, a call from the United States in the afternoon disrupted Jay Chou's plan. He had decided to go to Shanghai, but something happened at Apple in the United States. Jobs conveyed through Mark's mouth that he hoped to absorb Jay Chou into the board of directors. I remember that Zhou Jixi thought Mark was joking, but Mark said to him seriously, "Believe me, man, I'm not joking with you. I can't be so bored to do such a boring trick." Zhou Jixi was a little confused at the time and could only say to him, "Mark, this matter is a bit too sudden. I digest it." Mark just smiled and said, "Jess, you don't have to think too much. I think he just hopes that the stock price can be stable in the near future and you have a large number of circulating stocks in your hands. In addition, you are an individual shareholder. It is easy to change. And as long as there is a problem, it will definitely affect the recent stock price." According to Jobs' personality, this kind of thing that is not under his control has always been intolerable to him. Zhou Jixi thought for a while, and he understood a little. This is to incorporate himself into the system so that he can know in real time when he sells stocks. And in this case, there is still room for discussion with himself, agreeing on the situation, or contacting other shareholders to digest it internally and try not to affect the stock market. "I will reply to you in an hour." Zhou Jixi thought for a while and said, "No problem, that's it. Oh, there's one more thing. If you think it's okay, I also hope you can serve on Facebook's board of directors." "Okay, that's it. Think about it carefully." "Well, I'll think about it." Harvey was looking at documents in the office that day, and it happened to be about his employer, Jay Chou. It was about several investments. So far, Jay Chou has done a good job hiring this professional manager. Several small investments have made considerable profits, especially recently taking a portion of Apple stock for short-term operations. It's also a good harvest, earning more than $10 or $20 per share, and they have quickly made more than 10 million. If Jay Chou hadn't lifted the ban on most of Apple's stocks, he would have made more money. But he didn't expect that their actions made Jobs think Jay Chou was doing something. Who knew that the stocks on the market would not appreciate steadily, but would always be around $190 and $200. This separation would make some people feel that the price of Apple has reached this point and cannot increase in the near future. As a result, they gave up their holdings, resulting in no recent stock growth. The most hateful thing is that their market sales have been growing, but the stock has not grown, which is something that no one can tolerate. As the largest privately traded stockholder in the market, Jay Chou successfully caught Jobs' eye. In addition, he can be seen in almost all of these recent actions, causing some people in the market to pay attention to him. They also want to follow him to do short-term trading, and the most important thing is that he has only used a small part of the stock to do short-term trading recently. But now he has tasted the sweetness, and interests are the most moving weapon. Jobs believes that Jay Chou will definitely make a big move, and his move is likely to cause others to follow suit in the market. This is likely to cause a certain impact. You must know that Google's stock is now twice as much as his, and they used to be at the same starting point. Jobs believes that his Apple is no worse than Google, and now they only lack time. In the future, with his reforms and innovations, the impact will spread step by step, and it will definitely surpass Google. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.